Hey guys, welcome back. 2 hours left in choppy, to say the least, trading session. I was almost going to say positive trading session. We are, depending on when you look at it, positive on the day. But back and forth we go. Here's a look at how the market stands right now. It's the Dow leading as far as laggards are concerned. Back to the downside here, 0.44. For the Dow 30, 0.19 for the S&P, 0.1 for the NASDAQ, back to the upside. Monster move for crude oil today, 3.8% to the upside after we were down about the same at one point yesterday. So round trip pushing 8% over a span of 2 days now, back higher for crude oil. 1.4 here for Bitcoin, Ethereum, 3.5% back in positive territory as well. The entire energy group just jumping off the page here, to say the least. 7% right now for Oxy. Halliburton's here, 6.7%. SLB, APA, MRO, BKR, they're all here, all 3.5, call it, up through 8% in positive territory. However, up here, healthcare stocks offsetting a lot of that right now. Pharmaceutical names in particular, a little bit worse off. All the big names here, Bristol Myers, Biogen here, Vertex as well, VRTX 3.5% back to the downside. Eli Lilly, MTD, even Pfizer 1.7 in negative territory. So healthcare equipment makers also red on the day. Some of the consumer discretionary names having a pretty good day, including the cruise lines, 4% for RCL today. That's coming off a negative showing yesterday. NCLH, Caesars as well. Even CCL, pretty good shape so far this afternoon. Wynn, MGM, Booking.com, all 1% or more. Back to the upside. Material stocks are higher. Mentioned this morning, if you joined us, FCX having a really good day. 6%. CE, FMC, all back higher once again. CAT, NDSN, and GE, to name a few in the industrials group. But you can see enough negativity here. I just saw another headline on Twitter saying that they're going to subpoena some more on the Elon side as well. So we'll talk about that in a second here. A little REIT group here, the real estate stocks all in the red. Some of the banks as well under pressure as well. Hope your afternoon's going well. As we said, into the final couple hours of trading here, we're going to go back now and revisit some of the opportunities you had available to you at the open this morning. Make sure you're joining us every single day in the pre-market at 8:30. We get you set for the open, talk about what's moving, talk about how to approach it when the market does get open every single morning. Neil is here. He is going to lead the way this afternoon with a look at one of his trades.
Today's trade of the day brought to you by Day Trade of the World. As always, this time it's all about oil. It's all about Occidental Petroleum. We know Uncle Warren, Warren Buffett, has been buying this company just a little bit. But the momentum is all about the move in crude oil futures. Wanted to make sure we express this trade today. And we came in. And sometimes you have a plan of action and you want to dip by, you want to get a fantastic price and you don't see it. But the theme was, starting at the beginning of this week, that you had this breakout looming on the daily chart at about 66, 67. So you're looking for longs for the last couple of days on that break above that price. And then if you go back in the daily, what are you headed towards? You were sort of headed toward this nice 71.5 lower high, this 73 lower high, and then that top. That's that big top there at 74.5. So come into this morning, did I want a 69 dip buy? Of course I did. I was looking back at yesterday's low and saying, okay, we managed to pull back, hold 69. If we're going to be trying to break out at 70 here in the pre-market, a lot of times you'll get that 9:30 trade action where you get some whipsaw. Let's go long in front of 69 and let's ride the train, gravy train to the upside. Don't actually get that dip buy. It never does come in. And then I also miss out on the opportunity for what could have been a structured 70 long with that 69 break. What that leaves us with is yesterday's high at 72.5. And the good thing about a breakout trade is you want there to be no direct overhead resistance. You want room for it to work. And there was a nice channel for this to start to work out for us. So we're looking at that long at 72.50. And I said as this came on the show, if you just look at it on the 3-minute chart, getting in at that high is not going to look fantastic on a 1, 3, or a 5-minute. You've got to go pull up your 15-minute or your daily, a 60-minute chart to be able to see why we liked that double top for the last couple of sessions. So we did get that break. As with all breakout trades, I'm always thinking about the fact that in the micro, a lot of times you're catching a big move to the upside, which could still be threatening a pullback. and then looking for extended moves. So scalp some out initially, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, I want some reloads if we pull back in to this 72 area. That doesn't happen. We then make a test of 73.5. And the key thing over here is that 73.5 was that lower high that we're concerned with on the daily chart. So the second we tested and failed, I'm like, oh, let's put a trailing stop in. This is the pullback that we're looking for because we've come so far. Then we can look for the consolidation at 72. As you can see, that doesn't happen. Once you break this channel and head to the upside, it is just hold to target, stay on target, like they say in Star Wars, and we did. Got exactly to 74.50. And the only other option here would have been, okay, well, if it fails at that high, and you're always looking for reversals as a day trader. Obviously, I didn't end up shorting this stock, and maybe it was a reason to have shorted like an Indo or something else at that price level. But when we do fail at that high, that 74.5, it tries to get to 75. You pull back in, make that same lower high at 74.5. There's a scalp trade to VWAP. That is a setup I will take all the time in a different circumstance where you don't have such a strong trend on the daily. In fact, I look back on it and will ask myself on the train home whether or not I should have had that short reversal. But the key thing was we only wanted to be long. We did not get the dip buy at 69. We did miss at 70, but that double top 72.5, pretty clean breakout, but you had to try to hold it all the way up. Your other option would have been just go long into Ahusa, those small cap names, but I find the big caps is just easier to play that trend. That's why it's going to be your trade of the day here. Sometimes you got to talk about oil. Impressive moves in that overall market. There's your trade of the day brought to you by Day Trade the World.
Yeah, still holding near those highs currently as well is Oxy. Crude oil is still holding near those highs as well as we head into 3.8% right now. As we head into the final 20 minutes or so on the day for oil, up huge after, as we said, the move down yesterday, and then we came back, if you remember, at this time yesterday, right back to break even at the end of the session. Here's the note. If you missed it, it was late yesterday. Saudi Arabia and OPEC Plus coming out basically saying they could, in fact, further cut production in order to support prices. So that was the boost for both oil and a lot of these energy companies. This Twitter move today has been pretty impressive as well. Bounced off 40.5 back to 41. All kinds of volatility, though. All kinds of volume spikes coming in Twitter as well. Back and forth we go. The latest headline, Elon's going to have to provide more information on individual investors. They're talking about all kinds of different filings that are going on right now, I guess, for this lawsuit that is to come. 5.2% for Twitter, though, downside. Let's talk about AMC. We can talk about APE here a little bit as well. Both really not finding any support today to the downside once again after what happened yesterday.
Yep, you think you hold and wait? Well, you haven't met the apes. And up, it's a lot stronger than I anticipated it would be. However, there was a story that dropped midday, which might explain some of the price action you're seeing between AMC and APE. Jim Chanos, putting on a short position in AMC, hedged with a long in APE. Now, obviously, I can't tell you exactly when it got put on, but APE's only been trading for 2 days. So, very clearly at some point in the last couple of days, if not maybe even just today, a long position initiated there. And that's why you've seen some, it could be part of the reason why you've seen some strength over in APE today, whereas over in AMC, it is done more or less the complete opposite. And I know this because I came in thinking the reverse. Like I wanted to buy off support at 10.50 in AMC, and I was looking to fade APE. I never really got into the trade there, but I did take a shot to the long. It looked like it was trying to go off that first dip. Got up to about 11, hard rejected it, the reload, easy stop out there. Should have reversed into the short, but I wasn't really thinking of that other side of the trade. Like, well, someone could just be looking at this in the other direction, and you play the momentum that you see. And if you look at what happened, like once that reversed, that's about when APE did make its strong trend to the upside. It actually halted to the upside. It then went crazy again, which is what it tends to do. And after a couple of halts, when it finally settled down, it managed to hold that morning support and then be off to the races. And it's still above VWAP. So at this particular point, it's kind of the reverse of what I was thinking, and that APE is showing strength and AMC is showing the weakness. But that's all we can do going forward. My guess is that most of that position got put on, and then from here, maybe you'll see a little bit more normal trading. Just keep in mind, APE for 2 days in a row has had several halts off the open. So when the market opens up, it's not terribly liquid. There's lots of volume and trading going on here, but you do understand that this is going to halt a little more frequently than AMC, at least for the first 2 days it has.
Yeah, AMC is super exciting today. I didn't trade it today because we had a bad experience yesterday with the platform, and I think it happened again today on APE, and so I'm going to stay away from it. But I did want to talk. Neil just talked about Oxy. We don't have it on there, so I'll just talk about it quickly. I'm short on. Yes, sir. Spin it again, man. We're short on Oxy right now. We're making that money. We just shorted that ahead of. We have VWAP here and the 200 period moving average, and we're shorting against these. So. Just too far here for Oxy. Again, another 7% net PA. Too far. Don't like that one. So we'll wait to see if it comes back down. Looking at VWAP, right now we're short 15 cents in the money. So that's going to be a good one here for, yeah, let's go. Oxy. Okay. Yeah, no wonder. This is moving quite nice. How fast this thing goes to the downside right now. But we're going to short oil. I'm going to put another bid here. That just went to 50. I wasn't sitting there. I should have been. This thing gets pretty dried up once liquidity pulls away here. So that just like fell. There we go. We'll take a 54. Okay, we'll take it. Nice little move to the downside now. And then we do have AMD on the long off 93 bottom. That one's been an explosive move as well back up to the upside. So like I said, we're really starting to make some moves here into the closing show with 3 positions on. And then shout out to Henry. We have Palantir, which hasn't been doing anything. We'll talk about that in a minute. But for me, no, man. AMC. Oh, no, I lied. I did make, it shows that I made a trade today. Oh, yeah, that's right. We were long in the pre-market right here. We don't have any data. I had to log out and back in, as you guys remember me doing that. So long at 1060, out at 1090, which was the high of the day. So we have the, there, move that tick. We have the high of the day out. 1090 is our out there on AMC, not our full out, because then we got some back out when it broke down through 50 and then again through 25. So AMD, we're actually down on it today, and it's less than a cup of coffee. But, you know, all the way to the downside, it's respecting this 10 spot. Hasn't halted once, I don't think. So, you know, this has been a pretty safe name here, AMC today, as it's bouncing off that $10. So something there. The very bottom's only 980. I mean, even if you went long 10 now, I mean, I'm hoping a lot of our accounts can hold a 20-cent hit, so I feel like that's well worth it to go long this $10 mark here on AMC. But as Neil said, there's the story behind APE as well. So you got to add those 2 prices together, and you're at 17 now, which isn't too bad there for AMC. But again, if we take out VWAP here, I mean, it's very tight. Like these levels here, 1020, 1017, 1015, you know, those are possible break long spots here on AMC. So I'm going to do a little bit more. Right now, I'm obviously looking at Oxy and really excited about what's happening with AMD as that continues to go to the upside. But I'm becoming more of like a frugal trader right now because, you know, trying to take as much profit, like scalping, like taking 10 cents instead of 20, things like that. Like, you know, if I can do that, we've been really hitting it. Like there's the high in AMC, so there's the, or sorry, AMD. So there's the high again. Like if I have to take 46 cents on a trade, boo-hoo, I'll do that. But at the same time, I want to get the majority out as we hover around this VWAP. So, so far so good here. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty exciting afternoon, but maybe not. We do have some major economic stuff like Jackson Hole at the end of the week where I think that the market's waiting for that. Such a big move up in oil right now. I definitely like this Oxy trade fading that big move.
Yeah, a bit of a wait and see maybe for the overall market here. This RAM, RAM, not the pickup truck, but RAM just popping up here on big volume. This is a SPAC. That's the story, essentially. They just came out and said they were going to extend the deadline as to which they need to find a business combination. So anyone wondering what that RAM was. Here is a look at Zoom. Quarter by quarter, spot the pandemic if you can. The current quarter, the slowest growth rate since they went public. Pretty ugly here for Zoom, guys.
Yeah, you should. Can you circle where the pandemic was on that? 'Cause I'm not entirely certain there, Brendan. Look, it wasn't a good quarter. There's no question about it. And this was not, and the thing about it, a lot of times these earning reports, when they're gapping down 10%, you've seen us look for long opportunities off the lows. And that's because sometimes you have a short interest that's really big. But that didn't happen with Zoom. So it was pretty simple. Bad report, let's just short. It wasn't near 90, which what I would have loved, unfortunately. But we did have that pre-market high at 87 to work off of. It's a frustrating trade today. We don't do that segment anymore, but there is zero chance I would have anything as my frustrating trade outside of Zoom, because it was just giving you first 86s, pulling in 85, it's scalping it, then it touches 87, it comes back to 85. Like, it looked like this was going to be absolutely fine, and then it went higher low, break the 87 level, actually fail a break, and there's only one option here. And why I wasn't even thinking about it doesn't even make any sense, because you end up with a wick off top, which failed to break long. And I can't say I didn't see it fail to break long, because I was in the failed break long, right? Like, I took it, scalped some out, it then stopped back out. Now I'm flat. I'm not in the stock anymore. I watch it go back above 87 again, only to fail. And that's an extreme candle on the 3-minute. It actually doesn't really settle down until it gets back here at 86 even. But either way, like, there's a re-entry into the short. You come in with a thesis and it does a failed breakout at your resistance level. There's a short in there, or there's a short in there. I didn't catch either one of those on the way back in. It's not about being like up or down on the stock. Obviously, the short worked enough that you're going to have made money off of it if you traded it this way. But it's the biggest missed opportunity on my board. Like, forget about getting Oxy long at 69. This would have been much better to get back in at 87 and then start playing that trend back to the downside. Because once it got below 85, forget about it. It dropped $3 into 82. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not about what's the lesson learned. If there's a wick off top, you'll see me jump into the short all the time. I love that setup. It's just a matter of sometimes going back and paying attention to that name. Don't put it on the back burner. At the time, yes, I was looking at INDO, but that's not much of an excuse either. You're going to trade multiple stocks all the time, but that was a golden entry point because it shook out a lot of shorts there and trapped a bunch of longs, then making that drop even better when it happened later in the day.
I don't know why we're waiting for a 48-cent win here, but we'll take it on AMD as it just touched 93.50. Look, Zoom, for me, if you're following the sticky note, obviously lots are. Zoom was on there, the same levels. I think it was Stop Console Wars or somebody, Super SPAC-Man, I think maybe it was earlier, was talking about this when we had this trade on earlier. There's 85. We wanted the short all day. We had it, and we made good money on it, but, not enough. Here's AMD. Ooh, we just missed that 48. By the way, I was at 48. It went to 48. That's okay. All right, so Zoom right here. Good trading today for sure. We had it early. Like, look, in, out, and then we held our last half. So this is why it's a profitable trade, right? We always talk about risk reward. By the way, we reloaded Oxy, and now that is to the downside as it's starting to fall back in here. So Zoom right there. Look at this. So that's an 86.70 fill, right? That out on that fill is 85.60, so $1.10 on that move. Our last half gets out at 87.12, so we wound up making $1.10 on that, and then that's an 86.70 out. The other side, I guess it was 15, so that's 35. That's 45 cents. So made $1.20 or $1.12, lost 45 cents on that last bit, and then this trade speaks for itself right there. But then look, as soon as we got hit out, the one thing I got to do better, and I've talked about this too on all the shows that we do here, is that when I see this wick off top right there, I got to get back in. And unfortunately, I got hit and was probably doing something else. I was like, whatever, Zoom is what it is. But that was a great indicator there, 87.60, that maybe the buyers were exhausted. If you look here, there's not even big volume candles on that. So, that one should have been respected as maybe, kind of like a doji star there. But boom, downside, definitely paying off, man. And we loved that 85 break. I mean, it bounced off a couple times. Definitely would not have worked if you're only using that. But the last time, the collapse came in. So Zoom, again, not a great quarter, down 15%, probably needs to be bought at some point. But there's just so much competition here in this side of things that I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Zoom moving forward.
Just having a look at XPeng here. It popped back up, I guess, breaking 1890 there. But a tale of kind of two different days, busy days anyways, for Chinese ADRs. Here's XPeng down 11%, looking like it might want to get back to day lows. Off earnings, deliveries missed. Delivery forecast for the next quarter missed as well. Can flip over and show you PDD, on the other hand, about the exact opposite. Trying to get back to day highs here, holding 50.5. But let's go to XPeng first. Obviously, Chinese EVs have been a great trade over the past 6 months to a year, but not so much today. Downside for this one anyways.
No, and you know what? Like the exact reason why I'm in Intel right now, and the reason why I traded Micron was a setup that XPEV gave you, and quite frankly didn't take it. I've traded Alibaba, I'm in Pinduoduo, I traded that in both directions, but XPeng on a bad report. The next level on the daily chart was 20 bucks. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like it breaks $20 right at the open, and it went 10% almost in a matter of 15 minutes. It makes a bottom because the rest of the Chinese names were relatively strong. So it got dragged up off that low, then it rejected 20 bucks again, or didn't even get close to it, got to 1970, and then goes to the downside. So that's one where I think oversimplifying things was probably the right way to go with XPeng. Like I even said in the morning show that a lot of times the direction I want on XPeng when it has a catalyst is usually a trap at the open, so I'm always waiting for it to make a move higher, and I think I was waiting at 2050 and ended up canceling those orders because they never came in. I went over to Pinduoduo and Alibaba. I guess we're going to talk about those ones next. I mean, I could wait, or I could just jump into it right now. Alibaba has this 90 level, so as it came to 90, I've been shorting it pretty much the entire time, but it is grinding higher, and on the strength of Pinduoduo, and this is the one, like yesterday, it was super strong in PDD. You can see the breakout that it had. It got to that 49.50 level, very much like the trade in Oxy, where you don't get the dip buy because it was way too extreme, and there was no chance I wanted to dip buy after this thing had cratered from 49 to 47. But when it came back up, reestablished, and then broke the high of the day, I did have the long. And probably because I was in Alibaba and thinking shorts at the time, didn't really have many long trades outside of the Oxy at that point, and I put a way too tight a stop on this. The breakout was clean. It gave you the first scalp into 50. It pulls back. It really only went against me like 20 pennies or so, and then I trailed it. I ended up making the bottom wick of that move only to see it go higher. And then I essentially was just looking, I'll go to the 15 minutes so you can see what's going on in Pinduoduo here. I ended up shorting it off of 51. Here's the high from last week. It's at 51.50 level. It does not take out that level. It starts to fail it right now. It's still in an upward trend, but it can't seem to get back to this level, that 51.50, which I'm now short off of. I'm going to try to hold this one, but if the market does grind higher, this is a strong name. There won't be any reloads if it can't get down to 50 even here. And then probably Alibaba might take a shot at that high as well. But I've got most of that one out. Should have just stuck with XPeng and just sort of said, okay, well, stick with the read. Don't worry about the trap. If it broke that pre-market high, we could have always just gotten out of it. But that was real simple through 20. I just am so accustomed to Neo and XPeng doing something dirty at the open.
Yeah, I didn't look at these very much. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't looked at XPeng or Neo today, so not much there. But the thing is like I think what Neil was mentioning, trading XPeng versus Li Auto versus Neo. Obviously, you want to trade names that are active on the day when they report, and they give some sort of a catalyst on why you need to be trading them. So obviously, a very, very important point there on those two names. I just wanted to we're really doing well here on AMD as that's starting to go upside. We did get that fill that we were talking about. We actually put it down to 45. It's now at 55, so this is a 50-cent winner and still going. I'm out of it. Like, unfortunately, I only have 20% left, but I had way more than that. I just got out the majority of it because I had 3 fills here, all equal. So we only really have like less than like 7 or 8% left of our total position as you're starting to go back up to the upside there. So it's a nice little break here on AMD. You're trying to break through this like midday high right now of 96.60. So if that can happen, then you're into this area of 70, and then really we'll see if AMD wants to just continue grinding here for the rest of the day back up to the upside, as the NASDAQ is firmly now above its 50 period, and AMD definitely working. You know, we sort of pick on names that are strong. You know, and AMD's been strong today, so we're going to go back into that one. Another possible long for me would also be Amazon that I want to look at. So those are some names coming up. But I guess next, you did talk about PDD a little bit.
I thought I threw it in there. It was next anyway. So
it's been very, very strong.
Tesla broke 895, by the way.
Tesla's going to 900. I mean, we talked about that earlier. We could talk about Tesla quickly. When we were here this morning, there was only a couple ways that we liked Tesla, right? And that was either that breakthrough. What was it? Come on, Tesla. 878 or something like that it was. Okay.
I think 77 was the high, maybe?
Here we go. Yeah, let's just see. It was this pre-market. Yeah, no, I think it was.
Maybe it was 78.
Maybe it was. Like,
no,
what is that?
You're right. It was 78.
Was it 70? I don't know what it was there, but it was right here. No, I don't know. Anyways, whatever the level is, we went down there. Let's see if we can zoom this back out a little bit. Yeah, well, I mean, look where we went to. We went right to 64 here, which was basically yesterday afternoon's bottom. And then we respected all of these 60s as well down there. So, I mean, that would have been a screaming long if you actually believed in it, because realistically, your stop, this move goes down to 64, let's call it. Your out could have been 60 for sure. I always like looking at yesterday's bottoms when you get that close, just because if someone bought it here, there's a chance they buy it again. Well, they started buying this thing early. Then you just ripped off. And then look at this. The minute you took out this pre-market high of 878. Yeah, that's right. So there it is right there. The minute you take out that 878, that's what Neil and I were talking about. That's the go. And you don't even have to worry about it. It basically gives you that $12 to 90. Sure, it pulls back a little bit, but then you got to make a decision about 883, which is still $5 in the money, and then boom to the upside, and there you go. And right now we're marching towards that 900 here. So I'm going to take advantage of Oxy because it just went to the downside. That's a booming trade right now. We are at the highest spot we've been at all day right now for me. Look at these reloads here on Oxy. Boom, 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 kind of like stair-stepped in and then stair-stepping it back down. So nice little out for me there on Oxy. All I'm doing is watching my net roll, roll, roll. So that's how I knew to go back over there and interrupt myself speaking about whatever that name was there and move over to Tesla and move over to Oxy as this one. Here we go. Let's go, baby. So this is a good one, man. We're really cooking here. Oxy already near one of my top stocks, and we just started this right now. So shorting Oxy, let's see if we can come back into the 50s again.
For crude, I was just noting, yeah, it is on a bit of a downtick there, guys, for oil, as we have a couple minutes left here in the pit session. Still holding at day highs. A ton of interest rate talk was floating around in the pre-market this morning. Even over in the European session, they were talking about what they're going to do as far as interest rates are concerned going forward. But I just noticed this as well. We're going to have Tony Knack, head analyst at Financial Juice, come on tomorrow to kind of prep us for Jackson Hole coming up on Friday and Fed Chair Powell's discussion at Jackson Hole. But I just noticed this. We're back to a coin flip here. So 49.5 versus 50.5 between 75 basis points and 50 basis points coming up in September. So back to 50-50 essentially for what is to come. So we'll talk to him tomorrow at this time about what to expect coming up on Friday. Macy's in the retail group was the big earnings name that reported. The report not great, but here we are still holding on to some of these gains today.
Yeah, the trade on Macy's was at the open. Like really, that's where the boom was. And as far as I was concerned, like that report didn't have much in it that was all that great for Macy's. But it's still 9 to 12% short interest. We've seen retail names have mixed reports and have strong days following it and not always believing. So I just said to myself, it doesn't break the low. I know it was flat at the open, pretty much opening right at like 1870. I mean, it closed at 1861. It was opening right at 1870. I just said to myself, if it doesn't break the low, I'm going to look for that long. I didn't catch the breakout at 19, but sometimes you get real fortunate. And it broke out at 19 even, goes to 1970, and then comes right back into 19 even, gives the long. Then you look at that pre-market high, first out in front of 30, and then you get this 1950 next out there. I didn't believe it was going to be as strong through 20 as it was. So at first failure in front of 20, I just got out of it at the top and then didn't even look for the short because it broke and it looked like it was going to be a little bit stronger than that. But hey, when it came back beneath 20, that looks like resistance. Now it's just stair-stepping to the downside. I think if the market wants to fail this afternoon, and right now, you are seeing some strength overall. But if we do start to roll over, this has been in a bit of a downward trajectory and can provide us with some short opportunities. But the reason why it's not falling right now is because you are getting a bounce in the market. But as much as it was a long early on, I think that had more to do with that little squeeze at the open, some shorts covering after earnings, and it's been in a steady downward trend ever since. So I think that one's going to be a solid one. Just be careful if you're watching Indo, right? Like Indo, I feel like any moves in oil coming back in, this stock should maybe be falling a little bit more than it is. I actually should go ahead. I didn't pay for shorts because I only went long this stock, but it's still hanging out around those highs. When the pit closes, if oil makes a downward move, this tends to have outsized moves in either direction. Obviously, it's up 52%. So that goes without saying. But it's kind of hanging on, and if it doesn't get to that high of the day, well, and oil closes and actually closes on a bit of a downward trend, I can expect to see this back at VWAP. For now, it's looking like it's strong, but just watch out that price of oil because a small move down and you could see a lot of profit taking on this. It's already a bit overextended in my opinion.
If you're talking about oil, here goes Oxy, big time trading here on Oxy to the downside as we're down, well, we're still up 6.5%, but we just started the shorts right here against basically this 74-200 period. Oil's now closed. You can see what oil's doing right now, trying to tick a little bit down off that 94. So as oil, try to peak out here, $94. Look, if it comes back up, we'll get out of this trade for now, and it's starting to make a move back upside, but we're starting to like empty out our pockets here a little bit on Oxy. We just got a 50 fill. Like, you know, all these tipped in, now ticked it out. So, you know, we still have, I mean, if you add all these up, we only have about 30 to 40% of the trade left. Let's see if we can get a little bit lower. We do have to respect some of these bottoms here on Oxy. Put that sign up there. This is 45s. So, I mean, you know, it'd be nice to get into there. We're pretty close right now as here it comes right back into the downside now for Oxy. So my next bid is actually at 40. So let's see, maybe I'll bump that up a little bit to 45, respect some of those levels, but there's VWAP at 40. So that's why it's sitting there. Let's see if Oxy can explode itself to the downside one more time. Pretty happy with this trade. And yeah, it's a shot up my board real quick. Like we just started shorting this. We have no other trades today on Oxy. Now oil's closed on the pit. Let's see what happens here. Bidding 73.40 for my next piece to get out, guys.
One that hasn't yet popped up, guys, as far as squeeze names are concerned. But just saw this, Newegg up 7% today. Took out $4 there on almost a single print, it would appear, because not a lot of volume here, but heads up on Newegg starting to go.
Yeah, it's got a big candle, but it's already putting a bit of a wick top in there. And the volume's not just shy of 1 million shares, so a little bit light to want to jump into it just as I looked at it. But it is interesting if it tries to hold this when I pop the 15-minute up. Like it gets above 420, and you've got some room to the upside. So if volume increases, jumps back up, get over that 1 million mark and continues to trend up. I don't know why 15 doesn't want to go back further, but really it's, yeah, get above that 420, and I think you've cleared some overhead resistance. So that's what I need to see out of Newegg before I get convinced that this really, really wants to run. At this point, I'm a little bit skeptical about it. I said I'd still be in this and I'd be in all day long, and I am trying to get some reloads here in Intel. Yesterday, the mistake for me was choosing Micron, which was fine. All the semis that were good shorts yesterday. But Intel was the biggest mover to the downside, and it was like the only semi that we didn't trade on the show. Always got Nvidia and always looking at AMD and then looking at Micron. But Intel once again failing. When it broke on the daily at 34.40, it's respected that. Now working lower highs off of 34.20. The trend has been solid. Tesla just failed in 895. Well, sorry, never mind. I looked at Tesla before I started talking about this, and it had just done this candle breaking back below 895, and I was thinking, okay, this could be a little bit of a dip coming in Tesla, that 95, maybe back into 90, and then it's now testing back above that 95. I think we're on the collision course. As long as the market doesn't do something crazy, I think we see that 900 today. Obviously, the market could reverse and go back negative, in which case that's not going to happen on Tesla. But if you're thinking about shorting Tesla, about the only trade I would make would be like a very tight stop short off of 900. I'm not really into shorting it here. If anything, I was kind of hoping we get some kind of a bounce off this 890, and then I could look to play that to the long side over on Tesla. We'll see if that does happen. The market is starting to roll over. I'm going to see if I can't get some more shares of PDD out, mostly because it's having some trouble getting through 50-50. So it's been bouncing off that a couple times. If it bounces off it again, then this one might just be entirely too strong to pull back into VWAP. Have to respect the fact that some of these Chinese names have had fantastically strong afternoons here. Sometimes shorting off the top, the stock is just too strong. For now, it's in the money, but I'm always thinking ahead.
Yeah, you never know where it's going to go after that. We're going to, yeah, I mean, I still think that's Tesla's so crazy. Well, it was 6 down days, and then today, and then tomorrow's the split. So keep that in mind when you're trading Tesla, and when you wake up tomorrow and think that you've like.
Is it that's Thursday, right? Today's Tuesday?
I think it's as of the 24th, it splits. So at the close tomorrow?
At the close tomorrow, okay.
Okay, so tomorrow you'll trade it tomorrow, and then you'll get the shares on the next day. So tomorrow is going to be the last day. So that's, I think that's definitely a catalyst for the move up today, but I mean, no wonder. It's up, what, 2.5%, almost 3%. NASDAQ only up 0.2. So that's good for Tesla. Okay, yeah, Tesla 2.8% to be exact. I want to go long again if AMD comes back down to 93. So just a little take on that one. Are there any other names you guys want to look at here?
I should have gone over this AYA.
We've done that. Yeah, go over AYA.
Just to cover it, because someone's asking, like, why am I in this stock? It was a simple play off $1. Like, it barcoded at 90 cents. It took out and held $1 this morning. It was a good long into like 10s, reload. It then played into 15s and 20s. And then when it pulled back, I was saying in the chat, I think it was it might have been to Mike. I forget who it was. It was a couple of people in the chat, maybe Steve. They're asking, am I going to go back in? I said, I want to see it trade off that dollar level. It bounced off $1, so I took the next consolidation, and I'm still on the bid. If it goes back to penny stock status, I'm out of it. If it can make one last run, I'm offering it for a 10, 15, and then 20s. Just to get that play. The last little bit, as the market has come down, some names have given you some good trades right around that dollar level. So every time I see one on volume, I'm just playing off of that level. And it's been pretty solid because you know where you're wrong, right? And sometimes it's as simple as that. Like, I'm never worried about where my stop is going to be if I'm going long, some penny stock at 102, 101, 103. Well, I'm getting out at 99. And I'm not really that cute about it ever, too. I'm just going to make sure I maintain my stop. And if the stop gets run, who cares? It's usually pretty clean, those types of trades off those levels.
I was looking for some new trade ideas. Yeah, so that's a good one. I mean, another little small cap name running around there.
BBY.
You know how crazy Oxy is? Like, I didn't even realize how this stock is super violent to trade. Like, and I'm kind of like it, actually. I mean, just look, like, this is just, like, I just got out at 56 and we're just reloading it now. Like, it's okay, if it wants to pop up, we're going to be short 77 right here. But yeah, big move up with oil doing nothing. So I don't know what it's all about, but we're going to try to just keep on respecting these levels. I mean, we are going to punch out if it breaks above 74 right now. So yeah, I'm going to take a little bit more short here if I can get it. There it is. Okay, we'll just punch into 89s, I guess, there. And then we got some more short. So I'm going to wait now to see, because this is, like I said, man, this is violent. I'm going to actually reduce my stop order right now for that trade, stopping out at 74, because we're kind of taking off a little bit here, more than I thought. I didn't even really think that we would take that VWAP again when we were down here at 50. As I look, you can see oil's not doing anything, nor is the NASDAQ. So probably Warren's in here, maybe buying more, baby. And yeah, pushing
at this point, that'd be all.
Pushing this trade. Yeah, well, you're trying to buy the whole damn thing? Come on. So it looks like, I don't know how this is getting moved upside, but it definitely is. So watch out for Oxy breaking through 74. Our average price is 80. So whatever, it'd be a 20-cent hit. That always sucks when you get hit on something, but we're going to hold this, see if it does float back down at least to the 50 period here would be 75. And then after that, we'll look to see again. But we already did talk about this 50 level that it's held over and over and over again. So forget about what oil's doing. Some things just purely are technical. So maybe there is a buyer down here. I mean, every time, like, you dropped from 75 all the way to 73.50 and stopped right here. Not even on, like, exercised volume down here. Like, it's not even like people were hitting options, right? Like, it's normal. And then again, $1 straight to the downside and a stop at that spot. And then here it is trending down, stopping down here again. So I feel like we definitely picked up some good outs, but I have a feeling now, like, I didn't realize how violent this name is. Like, I feel like we are going to get stopped out. Like, look at the buyers coming in here to Oxy. This just is like non-stop right now. So a big time here. Nice little move up there for Oxy. As 230, I mean, it's closed, the oil pit, so I'm not super worried about the price of oil, but I am worried about the price action here. Yeah. I'm not shorting anymore. I cut my position in half. I was going to be more than this, but I've cut it in half. And look at this. It's going to take out 74. That's where my stop is, so everybody is aware I'm going to be getting out at 74. It's a 10-cent hit right now. I could take it out if I was nervous about it, but hey, I'm here to play. So
oil's not moving. And I was looking at Indo. I'm like, is Indo doing anything? Nah, sideways, man. Like, if it's only specific to the name, then sometimes it's just about that individual name. Because my first thought was, if Indo popped, oh, maybe it comes off that high, that 1280, but it didn't do a thing. I'm out of Pinduoduo. Like, the market started coming back in, and PDD is not moving. And I've been caught in that sort of trap where you're sitting in something that's not going, and then you're trying to force action. I'm not going to be doing it in PDD. I'm happy that at least it worked out, but it did not fall into VWAP. my stop that aggressive to go long. But that neg still holding up. I want to see the volume get a little bit better. I was actually just canceling my stop order because the volume, you can't even see it there. The volume just dried up in this consolidation. So I'll need to see it pick up if I want to take that breakout at 420. But on that 15-minute or the daily chart, whatever you favor, there's room upside if it gets through that level. And I do see it moving. AVY just barely hung onto $1 after dipping down there, so I got to watch out for that. And then Tesla, I mean, every time I'm like, yeah, it's about to make that dip down into 890, it does not do that whatsoever. So I might just try to make a run at that 900 without dipping to 890. I don't like the long this tight to 900 unless I'm getting it at a solid price. So I'm going to be patient with Tesla and see if we can't wait this one out. Randy in the building.
Tesla will be 900 by tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
It's at 894 ahead of the split.
Yeah, Randy's loving Tesla.
So I
right
should
there.
just get long right away. Who cares?
Let me know if you're getting a coffee, Randy.
Isn't it late in the day for coffee?
Nah, it's not late in the day unless it's midnight.
For me, man.
Okay, so just looking at Starbucks here. Starbucks is up 0% today, which is fine. It's just you are near these bottoms and you're coming from this top, but I mean it's not really moving that much, and I don't really want to get into a name that is sleeping. So I think, oh, look what just happened to Oxy. We got stopped out and it's all the way back down now for some reason. So I think they wanted to run. I think they just wanted to run that stop.
I think it was a CNBC BS push.
Oh, there was people on CNBC?
Somebody said CNBC mentioned them.
Ah,
and we've seen
I
that
didn't
before.
realize
Like the whole
that.
ooh, they come. I don't know if it's true, but someone put it in the chat.
Nah,
like,
it's probably
sometimes
is
you
true.
get like
Damn
an individual
you.
pop on a stock just because it gets mentioned, and then usually it's a good fate. But I can't confirm whether that's true or not. Someone just put it in the chat when that was happening, so we'll see if that's true. I have no idea, but sometimes it gives you like not a BS pop, but a BS pop.
Well, it is a BS pop.
It is a BS pop,
Yeah.
and then usually it just goes back to whatever it was doing before. But if you're in it, you're like,
No, I wouldn't have even got out if I didn't realize that was the case. But thanks
Well, I
for
don't
the
know
chat.
if
It's okay.
It might be true. It might be
Okay,
true.
it doesn't matter. I mean, I just went back in because like I do like the short. It's just I don't know what that pop was, and it literally went to 74.10 there. Like, and I don't want to be like just sitting in this trade, like hoping that it works out. I want to be making a trade because I like the trade. I mean, that's ultimately what we all should be doing, right? Like take setups that you like. Like they don't have to be A+ setups all the time, but definitely be in something for a reason. That's for sure. So I'm going to get back into this one, but definitely weary of some of that bottom. Like we just stopped at 76 there, so we'll watch out for it. But Brendo's got something else.
I just saw this STBX pop back up on yet another halt. If you missed it earlier today, it's 5 million shares at $4. I thought it was for this. That would make 20 million. I feel. So it opened at 27, went to 46. Now we're at 11 for STBX. So halted again.
Oddly enough, I see trading these things is pretty much a crapshoot. But there's one trade that I think you can structure off that. See, you did get a coffee. Randy in the house.
Thank you, my man. Wow. Asking you shall receive sometime around here.
It was a subtle suggestion.
Yeah.
But
or if my wife is watching.
Oh. Yeah.
But a bum.
Every night.
Ching.
You know what? If there's one animation.
I think she's at IKEA right now.
If there's one animation that's needed, it is the drum symbol. For when we make like one of those types of jokes. But there's one trade I'll probably try to make the next time one of these IPOs does this, where you think it's going to be the next one to go whatever, ape you know what, and triple up and quadruple up. And yes, it was a $5 issue. It opens at 27. It goes as high as 46, so congratulations. You took the first halt, you won. But after it halts down several times, I think it's like 7 times, it makes the bottom at 15. There is one push up into this halt, which is about 1867, and then opens up in the money about $2 or $3 and then continues to run. The way I see it, about the only trade I'll take if I see this happen again is to try and get long when it breaks this previous halt top or at that halt high, take out most of it when it opens up, take a tiny little bit to throw a stop at the low, and then try to run the rest. And at least that way it's like I know exactly where I'm getting in. It's unlikely at that point after a halt up that it's going to open out of the money beneath that low of the day. So worst comes to worst, you're probably opening up in this range lower with a stop at that low. I know the structure and what it's going to look like in advance, and that's what I can wait for. And then I'm not worrying about any other nonsense. You're just making one trade, one in, one out, and you can get a couple of bucks off of it. Sort of in terms of a gross move, maybe like a 5 to 10% type move. Sometimes you can get 15 or 20, but you're not worried about trying to predict where the stupid stock is going to go. You just like get halted 5 or 6 times down. There'll be a little bit of a bounce that people chase. If I can catch it early, I'll get an in and out and get part of it out when other people are trying to get in. Other than that, I would stay away from these unless you have a really good read on them as to why they're going to go up. This one, if you didn't take your profit, I mean, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, and what I wish we didn't take profit and or got out of was Zoom, as Zoom is right back. You know what, I might take a little bit out here on Oxy. So I missed. Okay, well, I missed that punch. Okay, that's exciting. All right, yeah, just watch out for 82 right now. Oxy just went to 86. I'm going to put something on the, why does it keep rejecting? Oh, I have too many bids out, that's why. I'm layered the bid all the way down on Oxy. That's why I got that error, so okay. Yeah, so here goes Zoom. Look at this, taking out 82. There's a little bit of a wall there. A couple thousand shares, each one, if you see on our board here, every time you see a 1, that's 100, so that's like a board lot. So 100 shares there, which would mean that when you're down into here, you have 10,000 on each gateway sort of thing as we go. But okay, here we go, Oxy. Oxy now finally starting to give in a little bit here. Hopefully it can give this up, and we'll make all that back when we got stopped out there on what was maybe a CNBC bump, which is fine. I mean, that can kind of happen. I want to thank everybody in the chat for mentioning that. Neil caught that in the chat, so that's good because, you know, I'd like to know why stocks are moving if they're not just technical reasons. But again, a little bit of a bounce off 81 is our best, 82 is our best fill. That's right here. So that's our best fill right now. We'll see if it wants to come back. There it goes. Coming back in a little bit. We take another 81 fill there. Or was that was another 82 fill, sorry. So coming back in here, we'll see if it can get in. I still think 73.50 is a good little area for us to get the majority of these out, but we are slowly starting to get some out and back to Profitville here on Oxy after getting, like I said, getting run up there at 74. Fine. I mean, that was my target. Yeah, I'm not gonna. You can't cry over spilt milk, and that trade happened, and we got right back in, which means you know.
Indo's tanking.
Yeah, there it is. What is?
Indo's tanking now.
Indo. Okay, so that's good. So let's bring all these oil names back in. You can see right now, oil's not doing a damn thing, but and I don't expect it to. Right, the volume's going to be dead here. We have close now on the pit. That's the last little spike there. So I just think that these names can fall back in. So that's the thesis there. We're close to our highest spot all day, and here we go, Oxy back into profit zone, baby. As I just said, we can probably trade back into the 60s. So we're pretty close right now. Let's put some more bids and just layer these out on the way down because, like I said, kind of a rookie here to trading this Oxy. Had no idea how violent this name is, but let's see if it can push down a little bit more.
Yeah, I like Oxy for trend trading. It's one of the things, like when it gets going, it just has, like it's got like program momentum behind it. Kind of like when Alibaba has the Chinese government buying it. It's kind of like that when it looks like that. But this is the candle I'm talking about in Indo. I did finally pay for the shorts, which I thought I had done, but I clearly hadn't. I was like, I just talked about it when it was at 12 and then didn't do it. This $12 level is an absolute wall for INDO, and it's already put in one capitulation candle on big volume, the biggest one that you've seen. So obviously we have about an hour to go here. It still could hold VWAP, but I'm going to be shorting this one into 12. It's pretty obvious where this thing can go. Just remember, if this stock breaks the high of the day, it can go parabolic. Like it's an outsized mover. It doesn't move like 1-2% at a time. If it fails, it could drop a buck. It's a candidate to potentially halt. But if it takes out that high, there's no holding to 1280. Like you can't hold a short in front of 12 all the way to 1280. That doesn't make sense risk to reward.
Like we just got a beautiful fill on Oxy. Remember I said I was sitting down in here, so this is what we're doing, man. We're not trying to play around. If it comes back in, we're taking fills. So we just got that fill at a spot that we've gotten numerous times, man, 73.57. When it was up here at 80, I said, let's get into the 50s and 60s. So when it does do that, we need to take a little bit of profit because it doesn't matter when you call something and they don't do anything about it. So, it's kind of like, oh, Dad, I'll eat my broccoli. But then when you serve it to them, it's like, no, thank you. you. And he gets, I got that thrown to the ground. That's, I don't know if you've seen
Lonely
that Lonely
Island.
Planet or Lonely
My daughter
Island.
my
That's
daughter
amazing.
literally asks for that song all
That's
the
the
time.
best song
And the
ever.
problem is like now that when you have the Google machine thing at home, why do I not know what it's called? So she can just request it whenever she wants. And the end of it's
It's a
kind
sick
of
video too.
The end of it's not all that clean for a 5-year-old, but whatever. She thinks it's hilarious, and she doesn't throw anything on the ground. To her credit, like you would think a 5-year-old would play that song and just start throwing shit everywhere.
Throwing it on the ground, but let's
But she
see if
doesn't.
we can throw some
speaking
oil
speaking of the ground, watch out for AMAT here at 102.
to the ground.
The market's starting to roll over, and I pull up AMAT because I like some of these chip names for potential weakness. Clearly, so 102 here looks like a good shelf to potentially get broken. It's been sort of charging down to this level, bouncing. If we do get a reversal in this market, I want something breaking a floor, and AMAT's the first thing I was able to find. Yeah, sure, it's a new name in the chip space, but I've traded this one in the past, especially on the closing show. So we get some momentum to the downside. I like them. They've already reported. Certainly this 102 level needs to break first. It's all kinds of support this afternoon.
Okay, I'm just trying to see what to do here a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. We've already got a little bit out of Oxy. I'm trying to find some more trades here, so that's sort of what I'm focused on right now. The NASDAQ has pulled back in. And again, like when we're gonna do this kind of stuff here, even though it's the afternoon show and I've got on Oxy, so I think that's gonna be pretty much my power hour move. I think it can fade back down, especially if we take down that 45 level, so 20 more cents down, and we get a break on Oxy, so I wanna be in that name. AMC is, don't mean to be showing that NASDAQ chart, sorry about that. I wanna see AMC because it's breaking right now lower, a lot lower. It just is touching that level. It snapped 10 off, and now you're looking at that 980 as a potential short trade there for AMC. I think that needs to be taken. So I'm going to go over there and take that short trade here on AMC, breaking through 980. I just, that whole Jim Chano story, going long APE, going short AMC, I don't really understand that play, but...
And guess what's happening now?
The other way?
APE's breaking the high
Yeah,
of the day.
of course. So that's the thing, right? So let's just see what happens here. 985, I guess, is the very bottom. Sorry, what is that? No, that's 80. No, that's 80. 81. Okay. That recent bottom's 85. I'd rather it just break the bottom, okay? And then we'll give it about 10 cents worth of risk if it comes back up. So yeah, let's go short here on AMC breaking. Is it SSR today? Yes, of course, from yesterday. So, all right, so we're going to miss the SSR trade, but we're going to wait for it anyways. So we're going to see if we can get this name short here on AMC, breaking back down through 80. But I wanted to take the low of the day, right? And otherwise, I just get short now. Let's just get a piece short now if I can, in case we're unable to get it. Very, very small piece at 83 if it fills up. That would be great. As Oxy's very close, man, to printing us on that level. There we go. We're now short AMC. Oxy's getting pretty close, man. This is a nice little move to the downside, retracing all the way back. So I'm gonna put another bid here. Oops, keystroke error. Almost put too many shares. We'll put another bid there at 60. We just got filled at 60. Then we just got filled at 60 just now. And then we have another bid on Oxy at 54 right down there. And then we'll let the floodgates hopefully open up. But watch out here. Alert, alert, alert. We have an 83 short on AMC. We're going to get shorter if it breaks 80 right now. I'm not even looking at APE shares, to be honest with you. If this one just moves down, then we'll take it, breaking the low of the day here on AMC. We're short at 83. I don't like to do that, but we are SSR, so we will take like 10% of our position or whatever at 83, and then hope to get a little bit more on an 80 break. But remember, when SSR, short sale restricted, means that I'm not going to be able, like once it breaks 80, normally I just tell the program to smack 79s, but it's going to reject that and then offer 80s. So hopefully we get a little bit of up and down there, and I'm able to get short 80 or 79 on a break lower there. Good out on Oxy as that just went up 10 more cents. Like, stock is nuts.
So APE's got a wick off top on it, and somehow
go.
on our system it doesn't say SSR on APE, which, I mean, the stock cratered yesterday. It was down easily more than 10%. That makes absolutely no sense to me. It went as low as $5 and it opened at $9. It has to be short sell restricted. I'm going to go ahead and assume it is. Look, the hedge, as far as I'm concerned, already got put on, so this relationship that we're seeing now doesn't make a ton of sense. But all I see is that same wick off top break that 760 high, come back below, and on top of that, if you go to yesterday in the afternoon, at noon, it got to 780 and then flushed from there. Like it tried to make a break higher off a double bottom and couldn't get past 780. So wick off top here, that's going to say go into the short position. I just talked about like on Zoom, not taking this setup and then watching it be the biggest missed opportunity of my day. If the hedge is still on, then maybe I should pay attention to say AMC, because if AMC breaks a low, in theory, maybe there's people that will buy this through that high of the day. But I know where my out is, and it's 10% higher at 764. So I just like the setup, and if I like the setup, then I'm going to take the trade. I know where that stop needs to go, so I'll throw that in there. Still no break on AMAT. The market is coming down here, so no breakdown on AMAT just yet. I might get some shares out of Intel. It continues to fall down, and Tesla is showing some signs of weakness here. So Tesla had been strong. I'm now holding lower, failing that 895. If this starts to roll over, the shorts come in the market when the strongest big cap name that I can see anyways starts to fall back in. So hopefully these shorts can start printing a little bit more. To that downside, I'm talking about my BABA and Intel if Tesla does fall, not to earth, but at least a VWAP would be nice.
Yeah, I should have just gone long APE, because then I would be in the money, because I can't get the short in AMC, right? I mean, it broke 80 easily and just tanked. And I was sitting there trying to hit 79, couldn't. And yeah, so we're short 83. We did get a little bit here at 76, but unfortunately not enough. And like, look, every time someone tries to go short, there we go, now I got it. But there's so many D prints in between here that it's very, very hard. There it goes. Nice little move to the downside here for AMC. We'll cover a little bit at 72, and then we'll see if it continues its move to the downside there. It just printed 72s. We're short 83. We just put that one on. Obviously, we want much more than this, but you know, as APE goes, as AMC goes, you know, they're kind of like one and the same. Like, see, it doesn't even. I don't know. I'm bidding 72 to get a piece out because, again, we started this at 83, but there's the break to the downside now for AMC. And I know it sucks. There's a lot of traders out there that are long, and I'm not trying to, like, make this trade, like, you know, because I know there's a lot of people out there losing, but at the end of the day, we're a prop firm, so I'm trying to sit here and get in and out and make a little bit of cash to pay for wherever the heck my family is right now. But here we go, a nice little downside move for AMC. It just stopped at 72, but the smarter thing would have been to trade APE, so good job there by Neil, because honestly, like, to go long on a name is way easier than go short on one.
But the long's not working because that wick off top. I'm shorted. Like,
oh, you're shorted.
The scary
now. Okay.
thing about it is the fact that all day long it's had this relationship, but a setup's a setup. It's a high of the day break. It's a double top. It's got resistance at the same price from yesterday. Put the wick off top, short wick off top. It get 53s. It just hit 43s. It's now coming back in. The whole idea that they would go in opposite directions only makes sense in the event that there was a major investor who said they were putting on a short and hedging it with the long. But if you come out and say that this afternoon, it means you've already done it. Not that you're planning on doing it. You wouldn't tip your hand. It's like you wouldn't put out a short report before you get into the short position. No, those guys put it out after. So as far as I'm concerned, Chaino's already bought shares of APE. And that might have been the strength that it had early on, and now it should just trade normally. Not that it is, because AMC's at the low and this is at the high, which I think makes absolutely no sense. So I'm short the wick off top. Oh, no. I could not go long on a break like that. It just, the logic wouldn't make sense to me there. So I understand there's going to be algos that hedge this, but at some point, market rolls over, AMC rolls over, this fails a breakout that a lot of people want that long, I'm just going to jump into that short position. And if AMAT doesn't, if we break VWAP on the NASDAQ, so here's what I'm going to do with AMAT, because I keep looking over as we trade down. If we do not break down from here on the NASDAQ and go sideways, then I'll cancel my order on AMAT. And if we do break down and get to 12.9 and AMAT hasn't come in, I got to cancel that stop, because I expected this was screaming to that 102 to break it, not to just keep bouncing off at 20 cents at a time. Brendo?
There was a note on Fisker I saw, 5,000 new Ocean sales reported, and some owners welcomed as well for Fisker Ocean today. It was up way more than this, all the way up here at 880. Having a nice day, though, still holding on to 2% here. 850 going to be important, I feel, for Fisker, guys.
Oh, I never found out what was going on with, like, Rivian was so weak today.
Yeah, Rivian. What was up with Rivian? I remember Prad was talking about that one.
Yeah,
it was
so
just like
it's
Rivian
so
to the downside there. Fisker, nice to hear those oceans. I know they have the Pope Mobile coming out soon as well, so that should be fun for anybody interested in that. Okay, so just reviewing here again, AMC did rip up. We averaged into the short. I want to take this until it gets back to 10. I don't know if 10's going to hold or not, but we just got an 84 short. It's just pulling back into 80. So my outs are going to be in the mid 70s, sort of where we stopped here, like 75, 74, something like that, if it does come back down to the downside. So we're still looking for that. We did get a better fill on, we got a 65 fill there, I think, on Oxy. And you can see what we're doing here is just hoping that it comes back down. And that's really all that it is right now, is hope. I have targets out. I might not even wait for 74. I'm thinking just this 73.90 right now. Why lose an extra 10 cents if you don't have to? But I don't know. I don't even have a stop order for that one. All right, so I'm just waiting here for AMC to fall. Hopefully that can come back to 10 bucks. CrowdStrike was a name that we talked about earlier today because of Palo Alto and their good report, and plus they're splitting. So that's another catalyst why this name should go up, not Crowd, but PanW. And you can see what CrowdStrike's been doing today. Really nothing off the open, but look what we're doing right now. It is right here at the high of the day on CRW. So if CrowdStrike wants to go upside here, it has a lot of juice to it. I mean, why is it up here? So we'll wait to see. There's Crowd right there. Forget about that wick. It's more of these ones that were when the market was actually open. That's 193.65. So I mean, that's technically the high of the day if you're taking the open market. So that's not bad, man. We are starting to break this. I think it's worth going into the long here on a break higher. I mean, we're short oil, we're short AMC, so we can afford to go long something. I like this name. What is PanW doing quickly here? PanW probably at the highs as well, if and when this loads. There it is. Not close enough anyways, 572, just hovering down. The thing is, you don't want to data mine. I don't want to look at something and then just say yes just because. It needs to be, there it goes. It just broke the high there on Crowd. But yeah, I guess you could give this one a little bit where we are getting to a little bit RSI, maybe a little overbought here on CrowdStrike, but at the same time, you are taking out the day's high on a name that we know can run. So here goes CRWD on what is probably going to be a good earnings report for them. So I'm going to watch this one pretty closely here. A pullback in, I like the long a little bit better, but for right now, I'm kind of stamping this as a possible long trade for anybody out there in CRWD. A little bit sidetracked now because AMD's back into the 70s, or AMC, sorry, so this is starting to work out a little bit here for us.
Yeah, right to the downside after that break on APE here, so we're definitely going to take some out on the way to VWAP. If it gets to VWAP, I want to be out in front of 710. It's just that wick off top setup. Every time I see it, I'm going to take it. That AVYA started to get going. It bounced off $1. It got back up to 108. It's now pulling right back into VWAP. At this point, it's not moving enough to be warranting a reload. I'll just give it a chance to break toward the high or break $1, and then that becomes very binary. I've canceled AMAT. That's not moving around anywhere. Even Tesla is starting to slow down, so that's a bit of a disappointment there. Newegg, which we thought had a chance to break that 420, the volume just wasn't there. It's now pulled right back into $4. Would have to do something pretty spectacular on a volume standpoint to get to that 420. Maybe it's something for tomorrow. That we can have a quick look at if it picks up a little bit of volume. I like the level on it. I just don't like the amount of trading and volume that we're seeing. So unfortunately, that might be nothing. I don't know what someone just said, STBX halted again. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to halt a few more times, and then it's going to halt a half a dozen times tomorrow. I don't see much of the trade in there. There was that one shot I thought after it halts a few times to the downside, but this is not something I want to trade. I mean, you could look at a breakout at the high if it were to take out 1360. As a matter of fact, that's not a horrible notion for that trade. The volume is pretty solid here. I just want to try to stay away from these outside of that one little thesis. If you can grab it in the midst of a just ridiculous move and then structure something in the other direction, like if it's falling, try to catch a crazy little bottom or whip bottom there if you can get it. But at this point, I'm not really seeing it. Someone just asked about EAR. I was trading EAR today on the dip at 250. And it didn't really give me anything off that level. It broke. I took it in front of 250. It broke 240. I got out, and it's still in the same range. So at best, I could say I'd still be in it, and I'd be flat on the stock, and then waiting for it to do something. So that's not a situation that I think you want to be in. I think I'm sitting this one out until tomorrow. And if it wants to open up and give on volume, maybe a press off this level or a break at $3, I can have a look at that. But this is dried up in terms of momentum, so I'm not really seeing anything there. NEPT, on the other hand, I know Trader Pratt, or it might have been, I think it was between Pratt and Sharif, one of the two of them I know was on the stock. I'm actually not sure. I know they were watching this. This just broke out. And why does my 15 not want to load? But this just broke the high of the day at 3 even. So this one looks like it's on the run. Thank you guys for putting it out there. This has good volume behind it. This is the kind of break that I think you want to see. So I want to try something if I can get it. I didn't see it, so I saw NEPT. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, $3 on that stock. I remember them watching it. And so I can get in if it pulls back, which it does, gives the entry point off that 3 even. You have this nice consolidation off of 280, so I think we can give it back to that level. And if you look at where this can go, you talk about that 350 that it put in just last week. So I don't mind really giving it to that 280 level when it's got upside to the quarters and then the 3 even. So any PT on the run, finally something that wants to take a high and give us a shot at some tops.
This is hilarious because Oxy's first of all, nice little win here as AMC's pulling back in. We're only 10 cents in the money. Yeah, Oxy, wow. Crazy. We're just looking at CrowdStrike again. Come on, Oxy, let's go. Load up. Oh, now my chart's going to just count it down.
Boom.
Okay, so I'm going to give it to this. I mean, again, oil's come down in. I blamed it last time on CNBC. We're not going to do that again. We're going to go short here at 02. And if it takes out 74.11s, we're going to get out of this one for sure. So do we have that reload in yet? No, we actually missed that. What did I say we were offering? 02s. Okay, so that should give me that many shares. Adjust the stop order, and now we're going. Okay, so we were waiting at 02 there. For some reason, it didn't fill us. Hopefully, it does at some point there. And we'll get this 02 short and give us, there it is, as it rips right through it. So now we're short here against 74.11. That's going to be the price right now for Oxy. Look, I mean, we were just covering this thing at 60, so there is an opportunity for this to move down. And if we get stopped out right now, we're short at 96. Our stop's 74.10, whatever this high is right there. I mean, 15-cent hit. There's so much more than 15 cents here on the downside that if this loses, fine. I really like Oxy. Glad I found this, and definitely will be adding this one to my trading portfolio moving forward. So I think that's a good thing. Anytime we can add names and just understand the way they trade, and just like, I'm just impressed with how violent this name is. Like, that's great. Like, if it's going to keep on doing that and give opportunities like this, then I'm all about that. So Oxy right now, a nice one. Here it comes. Look at that. We just, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we just got this name, so we'll see if we can get a 91 now and get some more out on Oxy. Like, the Scalp King is right here, baby. We're dropping down some money. It's got to work first, though. That was a nice move down in, and I don't want to just take 10 cents on this, but again, being the first time trading, kind of an interesting name here, Oxy today, down to 73.80. Again, would be a little nice area there. We'll see if we could take off 5% or 10% here if we get hit at 70. Where am I bidding? 90s? We'll see if it comes back in. Oh, I'm not bidding anything right now, so let's do that. Right now, we'll take an 88. We just punched them out. Or we didn't get that fill, but we did bid 88. Wow, this is how crazy it is. Sees your order, doesn't even fill you, and creates a new level. So here we go. Oxy to the downside. I thought I was bidding 90, and I wasn't. Now I'm bidding 89.
Yeah, that 3 break on NEPT, it's gone halfway, so we can have a little bit of a party because it gets to that 3/4 mark on the 3 break, but it's not breaking that 3/4 yet. So here comes what usually happens when you get that little break at a high of the day and it doesn't just immediately scream to the next resistance level, which would be the dip. So the key thing you want to see on a dip is hold 280, don't halt. Those are obviously 2 things I'll be concerned about there. So first step, hold that 280 level. Obviously, I'm always watching for that potential halt, and when you're talking about these 10, 15, 20% moves, you have to do that. If I see it stacking up, I'll just try to get out. But I did always pay yourself on a breakout, because now that you're looking for it to potentially, the whole idea is that it's shaking out some longs and then has more runway to go because there's less people on the offer. When the 3 breaks, every day trader that has a breakout like that is like, I'm putting offers at 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and that's why you see a bunch of stacked offers at those levels. When they get stopped out back beneath $3, let's just say, suddenly you can have a bit of a wipeout bottom and then a chance to be able to catch a dip. And it has an obvious level at that 280 where I'd expect it to have that chance. So Neptune, I'm just going to call it Neptune, but Nept is on the run here. Let's see if it can't get going. By the way, APE did slow down, didn't quite get to VWAP. It just bounced off 720, putting in a lower high for now, but showing some signs that, you know, it wants to try to get back into that upside. And oddly enough, I should put it's not that I have to have a chart up of AMC, but I just realized I'm not even paying. I have no idea what's happening to AMC as I'm saying all of this. But yeah, AMC's still trending to the downside. So I don't know, man. The AMC broke a low, and then you bounced 10 cents on APE. So for whatever reason, there is something to this whole hedge thing. There probably are some algos, like market-making algorithms that are hedging this in some way. So as one breaks the low, like you're short one into the trend, and then you're sort of going long the trend to the other one, and then just sort of making spread and taking spread off retail, because that's what happens. But that's what I'm seeing. It looked like this was cruising to VWAP. Now it's catching a bit of a bid right when AMC took out the low of the day.
Yeah, what's up, Pokeroo? Yeah, I'm going to let Oxy go, but I mean, it's only 5 cents away from stopping me out, basically. So who knows? Still going to be a profitable name, but yeah, I'm just going to stop scalping it, because you're right. I mean, someone in the chat goes, well, yeah, Oxy's violent, but right now it's not. So yeah, so if it wants to open itself back up, we'll do that. And just like Neil's not looking at APE, or AMC, I'm not looking at APE. So we're both in these names, and we're going to see if they can work out for us. AMC's definitely working out for me, 10 cents, but again, you know, it's hard to make, you know, if there's nothing happening, like you can't make orange juice without oranges type of thing. Like this is not going anywhere right now. So we'll sit in it, we'll wait. And I just feel like, you know, I'd like for this to go back and give us some trade idea, but for right now, it's just really not doing anything. There goes Oxy back down. I said I wouldn't talk about it. One spot that I really was thinking about is just, it's really barcoding. I would have liked that AMD reload down here at 93, and I should have put it on. It was screaming there to do that, but at the same time, it was just, I don't know, I'm a little scared to put on risk right now, because I don't really see anything happening in this market. I mean, look at the futures. Like, what if we take this out, I've got some ideas, man. I mean, I want to go longer on AMD. I like Meta off some of these bottoms as well. We could talk Meta a little bit. Meta is actually going to be a negative. This is actually my only negative stock today, Meta. So, you know, here we go again to look at these names. We were short Meta all day. Like crazy to say that this is a negative stock for me. It was really because we got short too early and then got hit there, and then we shorted 165 and wound up covering the rest of it at 162.38. So even though we have a $2.50 winner, we still are negative on Meta, and I'm here to tell you that, man. Like, trying to just be as honest as I can with all of these trades with you guys. You know, if it can go, I like Meta to go upside. It's down 0.9. It's just bouncing off some of these bottoms. This could really watch out for that 161, especially if this market gets going. I like it. Oxy coming down, AMC coming down now as well. We're already into AMD. So other than that, man, I mean, I don't have too much else to talk about unless there's another name that you guys want. There comes Oxy. Okay, so right now, because we're back at the 80 level, I said I wouldn't talk about it, but I will put a bid down there at that 80 level, because that is where the 200 period is, and we just bounced off that again. So let's put a bid here, 88 or so on Oxy. If it hits us, great. And then realistically, man, next one's going to be at 80, and then we'll stick down into the 60s. I think that was a call for Brendo.
I just saw this one popping up. One that can get going if it wants to. Cassava Sciences going on volume here. So, well, a lot of volume coming in through 25.50. Just having a look for anything on Sava, guys.
Yeah, I
see
see
so
this.
there's actually no news on it?
On watch, it says.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly, I had to confirm whether, yeah, we have to pay for shorts on Sava. I just saw it screaming up and everyone started talking about it, and Brendan brought it to us. And I looked over, it's like, okay, higher time frame, 26 to 26 and a quarter is a bit of a level. And it's not just that it hit there as a high yesterday, but if you go back a couple of days, as putting in lower highs every single time makes a pop. But you go a couple of days ago on that Friday, and yeah, that was a lower high, right at that same 26 to 26 and a quarter. So if it gets up there, I think it's going to run. Yeah, and of course it wants to turn shy of that. That's how it always works, right? Like it doesn't quite get to the level you love. It just goes like 50 cents away. But I like this one in here. If it does one more push higher, I think Sava is going to hit a level that's shortable. I just paid for the shorts, as I said. It's going to be worthwhile. When this starts to move, typically those are the days you couldn't anticipate this was going to happen. It wasn't doing any volume. So unless you literally had a stop order for whatever reason on this stock, I don't see that you had a trade. You could have just randomly had a 25 stop when the volume picked up. Now it's already gone. I'm just looking for a resistance level. And if it gets through 26 quarter, that might give you an opportunity for that long trade. Neptune did not go to 280, but it is trying to pop again. I'm still looking 350 for the last of those shares. But at 26, 26 and a quarter, that's where I want to try and get that short here on Cassava Sciences.
Yeah, good look by Brendo bringing that volume to our notice there. And meanwhile, volume is picking up a little bit in AMC as it does make every tick is a new low, and we're already short. So here we go on AMC. And again, we just took a 70 bid like we said. The problem is Sharif gets this food now at like 3:20.
He eats late, and it's like,
and it's just like, That's all that I'm smelling is this chicken or whatever the heck he has back there, Sharif. Chicken today, this guy. Killing it slowly. Okay, here we go. The market coming back in. So yeah, looking for some shorts might be the call right now. But again, you're just barcoding, but here we go. The market's coming back. I think Apple, I mean, I've been shorting Apple all day. And, you know, respecting this 168, should have done it again. We'd be nicely in the money. You're starting to break down a little bit. The only short we have, we have Oxy short, which is printing. And then we have AMC short, which is printing. And then AMD long, which is okay, that's coming back down a little bit here too. So we're going to just hold on to that one. But here we go. We are now finally at the highest spot we've been at all day. Thank you, Mr. Claus, for that one. As he's, I can't believe Christmas is. I mean, it's like school's here, and then I just got an email.
There's a few things that have to happen first before we get to
Christmas. For sure. I just got an email right now that like hockey, like my kid's hockey schedule, like here it is. So pretty soon that'll be in the calendar, and then wow, there it goes. But here we go. Here's good old Saint Nick one more time. As every day the market's open, I feel like it's Christmas. It's just, you know, you got to make sure you don't have the coal underneath those trades. But so far so good here today. There goes AMC making new lows. We just took another fill at 66. We'll just keep taking fills, but the next one's going to be like 61 or 62 as that keeps on falling down. We said we'd let Oxy go, so hey, what's up, Pokeroo? We are doing that today. And I don't know if you guys are watching my trades today, but Apple, we've already talked about that. AMC, we're in that right now. AMD's a profitable name for us. Amazon's a profitable name for us. DocuSign was destroyed by us. DocuSign was absolutely crushed today as we had 63.50 here on DocuSign. Look where this name is, 61 right now. My best out, 61.60. That's Docu getting killed today by us. Oxy, you're already seeing me in that trade. And then Zoom, can't say much more about that. The only negative name, which is crazy that it's at its low and we are only shorting it here, is Meta. So Meta comes back down in today, and that name looks like it's going to be still negative for me unless I push this low here, 161.23. Let me see if that's a short that we like.
Yeah, I just took Sava 26 short off that 26 quarter. My out's at 26. We'll take a 25-cent hit on that one as it does go. I'm now out of APE, so that hit VWAP. We'll get that one out of the way because who cares? It's done. We showed you guys the wick off top. Sava now continuing to run higher. I'm still looking for one more thing. That can be a wick off top through that same level. That 26 and a quarter is going to still be valid. If it does fail this price area one more time, I would take another shot at it. Once it does that, all bets are off. It is looking like it's a little bit bullish when you go to the higher time frame. My daily doesn't want to load up fully, but if I pull back to 15-minute chart, if it goes back far enough, it did make a nice consolidation off 23. But I look at the series of lower highs and just say, as long as it hangs out below 27, that would be that line. If it gets above 27, it's got some bigger gaps to be filled. As you can sort of see here, like 27, then suddenly you have like a $1.50 gap, and then the next one up is like $30 to $31. Everything in this 26 range is a little bit tighter, so beneath 27, I'd be looking shorts. And then today and possibly tomorrow, 27s, you can look for some longs on a bigger style breakout. But Sava definitely on the off to the races. Got to watch out the market bouncing not much. And Alibaba, which has been working pretty much all afternoon, I can't ignore it. It's back toward those highs. And it's right at that entry price I've been taking, like that 89.60. Been waiting for a chance to reload it all afternoon. And it finally comes in here. So I'm going to get on this on Alibaba right at that 89.60 where we've been taking fills. Got to cancel stop first. Otherwise, it doesn't let me do that. How many times do I have to hit? Here we go. So I have to actually cancel my stop order because it's like, oh, you have a wash trade. You can't put an offer when you have a bid above that. So I'm going to get the short off 89.60. This is the same short I've been taking over and over again. First time we're able to get it here in the afternoon. But if Baba takes out this high, it's off to the races as well. Without the market doing it, I don't think Baba can go.
No, yeah, I mean the market's not going to do anything the rest of the afternoon, I don't think. But it's 3:20 right now, and the only thing that we're doing is, and I see what you're saying there. And it's not Elaine, it's E-L-I-A-N. It was like, you don't like it when the market goes down. I mean, I don't like when the market goes down either, unless I'm short. But it's not, like, we all want the economy to be better. I mean, I think that that's true. And that was sort of your point in there, is like, you don't like when we make money on the short. That's fine. But at the same time, you know, as prop traders, that's what we do. And it's just like, you take your shot and then, you know, you can get out. You saw Neil there on Sava, like, you take your shot. If it doesn't work, you get out right away. Like, it doesn't, we're not making calls on the economy or anything like that. We're simply just making calls on trades. And I mean, honestly, like, I don't want to hit the same thing over and over again, but we're on one today, and we're just going to stamp some fails on some of these stocks, because there's AMC again. Remember when AMC broke 980 and I was like, I want this short, and we got the short. So there it is, man, 957 now for AMC. So even if you just took one trade today and not affecting the economy at all, AMC, you're seeing this one down to 957 here on the short. So, I mean, I just took that. We were long early, short now. So, I mean, all we kind of do is change our opinion back and forth based on what the market gives us. And yeah, it's an eat what you kill environment here, because we're on a prop floor. So that's why, you know, I get excited for sure, because, you know, the more I win, the more my family does better. And that's honestly what I care about. I mean, I'm here for you guys to educate, to give everybody the same opportunities that I feel like I've been blessed with. I mean, that's literally how this started. This show started with me doing these to offices in Africa, all over the world, in China, many countries where it was amazing to see that there's no education at all about the stock market, let alone finances. And they were opening up offices with Day Trade the World, and it was me on my desk with a webcam. And it was going back and forth. And that's where it was like, hey, I can only do one office or 5 traders at once. Why not grow the community? And then I started doing it to multiple offices. And then the idea came, let's do the show. And that's basically where we're at right now. So that's why I'm here, you know, to try to broadcast sort of our knowledge to all of you out there and give you the best opportunities to make money and understand the stock market. It's not financial advice, anything that we're giving you. We're just showing you that prop trading and actually sitting here at a desk with 2 average dudes and someone above average, Brendan, that, you know, we can sit here, make money, and have a good time as well, and so can all of you. So that's, you know, that's why I'm here. That's the purpose for the show, and I hope you're enjoying yourself, because you know what, man, we're just going to keep being here every single day. Hit the siren for tradertv.live. And also hit the like button. Bye-bye, Oxy.
So we just talked about 27 a couple of minutes ago. And the thing about taking that trade, and the reason why I'm always going to take a shot and risk that 25 pennies, is because it's not easy to get into that short when it does in fact turn. So when you see a level, you go ahead and try to take it. I was just all over trying to get that curl at 27, and it's already back at 25.50. And it's just about going back and looking at where that resistance level might be. And this is why you want to try to be on the stocks that are moving, because it goes right into the resistance at 27 even. Sava's put this pattern on, and then there you go. There's your abject failure when it got to that 27 level. But here's the other side of the trade. Like, you can sit there and be like, oh, I love the short. It's going to fail at 27. And I could have just held 26, averaging at 26.5, averaging at 26.80, and then it would be in the money for me. Truth be told, if I did that every single time, you wouldn't actually make money in the long run. Because when you get blown out, you don't have yourself an out. But there it goes. It goes to that next level up at 27. Even the bag holders come in. And then Sava does that thing what it normally does, which is fall like a rock once it fails a little bit. The newest trade for me was just Alibaba there. But I did want to get to Tesla, because rightfully pointed out by at least somebody in the chat, Tesla made another run at the high of the day and another failure at the high of the day. At this point, it does feel like Tesla does want to resist these tops. So Tesla, super strong, but if Tesla ain't going, we ain't going. Because there's not much that's that strong in the market. Everything else kind of trending toward those lows, or not trending toward the lows, but this is up 3%. And if you look at all the other big names, the big cap names, you know, Tesla's been doing the heavy lifting, and Apple, hit enter twice, Neil. Apple, look at this barcoding. Reason why we're not talking about Apple. Flat on the day, at VWAP the entire time. If Tesla gives us up, we're headed back toward these lows of the day. And every time it breaks 895, it is a failed break and a wick top. And I'm getting real close to just saying, why don't I just short off a 95? Because that might be the only trade I can make here on Tesla. Because I'm not seeing this 900. It's just not happening.
No, exactly. I mean, some of these stocks just aren't really moving.
Randy said it was going there.
Yeah, Randy said that. Okay, so again, you know, we just I just went on that little bit of a rant there, which is fine. But you also heard me say Oxy, right? I mean, Oxy just went down again into the 70s, right? So look what we did, man. It's like profits, profits, profits. As it was coming down, we said that we would leave this one a little bit. So shout out to you, Mr. Pokeroo, right there with the slap shot, because that's exactly what we did, man. I mean, we sat there and we really tried to respect that move down there in Oxy, and we let it go, man, like we said we would. So there we go. We let the trade go there on Oxy, and thanks for that sort of advice. I mean, I said that I was going to do it, but I'm glad that we actually did that because we were able to get all these out in the 70s. Remember, I was just like scalping it here, and trust me, like when you're making 1 penny, or not 1 penny, 10 pennies, big difference making 20. I know it sounds double, but you know, when you're trading shares, like it does make a big difference when you look back and you're like, oh man, why didn't I hold, or why did I hold, vice versa, vice versa. So anyways, there we go, Oxy right back into the 70s again. And I have half, or do I have half? No, I have 40% of the position. We got out of, yeah, right there. We got out of, well, we got out of 40% there. So one of these must have been a double. So, oh no, yeah, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. So we only have 40% left of this trade, and I would love to see this thing get into the 60s. So, you know, sometimes if you put out a bid, you can just get it. So I'm going to put out a bid now. Ooh, I have one at 71. I'm going to cancel that. Let's see if we get a 60 there back in. So that's what we're going to wait for now on Oxy. And then just an update quickly here, because where's my AMD? You're going to see me out of AMD. I just felt like the market here broke that 50 period. And if I'm going to be sort of a rules-based trader, which I think I am anyways, sometimes, I got to get out. So it broke back down below. AMD is holding up. I honestly, with the market falling, I thought it would fall even more than this. So I really thought I got a good fill there. But I guess it's okay. Now it's lower than that. So, all right, out of AMD now. And as it falls back down, that was a good trade because our long was down here at 93. You can see where we got it out. The majority of them right here about 40, right where VWAP's been pretty much this whole time because the stock isn't moving. So good little take there on AMD, and now we're out, and we're only short, man. We're short Oxy, and then I don't know if you're still in APE or not, but like,
no, I covered VWAP.
Yeah, AMC is still a nice move. I mean, we're 23 cents in the money, but I'm going to stamp a WTF on AMC because for right now, it's just not moving. So hopefully it'll come back down. But
like APE's bouncing.
Yeah, some good outs, man. We got 60. We only got 60s, so I don't have that many great outs. I got to put another bid down here. What was this? 55, 56? All right, let's put a 58 bid.
So someone just asked thoughts on Neptune. Okay, I'm going to pull away from Tesla. I'm offering right around this level here on Tesla. That should pop in any second now. So I'm just going to move Tesla to another level too, because when I'm trading it, I want to make sure I'm actually watching it a little bit closer. But I can get over to Neptune just quickly. It's making that bounce. It didn't go to 280. At this point, it's 350 or bust. As it moves higher, I'm just going to keep moving a trail. So I was going to give it to 280. Now I'm giving it to 290. If it breaks 320, I'm going to give it to $3, and the target's 350. So not much has changed for me, except for the fact that the dip buy after that breakout, that never occurred because it never really flashed back down. It actually held this level. So I'm going to stay away from being too aggressive buying at these highs, and 350 is still the target. As a matter of fact, I'm on the offer up there just in case it makes a move while I'm not paying too much attention. You asked about APE a little bit, but it's bouncing. If it moves toward that high of the day again, I'd take a shot shorting it, but it's just going sideways off VWAP, so not a heck of a lot happening with APE. I see AMC still on the low of the day and week, down 8.5%, while APE is up 20% for what it's worth. But this is not moving at all, so a bit of a disappointment, I'd say. I kind of felt like it gave you that one trade, there'd be another one, but there really hasn't been an APE.
No, APE. Yeah, great call. I mean, it hasn't, I mean, even on AMC, I mean, I'm really happy with it. We just got our 57 fill. So, you know, we'll go like, that was a good idea to go short on the low of the day because it was. And that was up here at 80, right? Remember, we first took the 83 fill, then we took some in the 70s. We got 79s, then it tried to bump up and we said, how dare you? And we shorted 84 again, and now getting out at 56. So well worth it on the pay for short today for AMC for me, as that's going to be another one adding a feather to said cap. Okay, now let's just, it's 3:27. We do have the market on close, imbalance locator coming through very, very soon. I mean, I guess that's still 25 minutes away. Look at XLE, man. And again, we talked about this. Like, not only hopefully am I trying to give some of my thoughts here on market moving names. Don't tell me my day chart is gone. I was just looking at it. What's this? That's 20. There's my daily. Okay, just last week when we had on Daniel Shea, XLE was a week, yeah, so it was right here, $76, right? Since then, straight up to 83. We talked about that, said that we really liked it, so this is definitely paying off here. XLE back up to the upside right now, so good on oil, good on a lot of these names, man. As oil, the call on oil was actually 86 when she was there. I think it was between 86 and 88 that day, but up to 93. That's sort of where I've been putting some. I remember I told you I was selling some Tesla, which doesn't appear to be right, as that name just keeps on working. I sold some Netflix yesterday, and what we're trying to do is put more money. I've had other cash on the side as well, but putting some more money into oil because again, heading into the winter months, plus Europe is a problem, plus Russia is a problem, plus there's sanctions coming on for nat gas with Russia. So I feel like there's a lot of things here pointing to the negative side for the economy, and which would be positive again for oil. We had Saudis talking about cutting supply, so on and so forth. So let's just keep on our bullish action here on oil. I do like XLE right now, and I do like Oxy, which that sounds funny, like Oxy, I guess. But there's a nice little move down there for 73.70.
Never tried it. Who knows?
If we go down, okay, here we go. Now starting to go down even more. That was yeah. 1 second. That was AMC there, Neil. Still ticking lower. 950. Yes. Mamma mia. No pineapples on the pizza for my man to the right.
There should never be. And of course, I was totally joking when you made the Oxy comment. Like, I'm not telling anyone. No chance.
There's a big pandemic.
It's a horror.
Not pandemic. I guess it was an
Well,
Oxy.
it's a health crisis. I'm getting out of AYA here, or at least most of it. So I got out of another half. It only wants to pop like from $1 to 105 now, so it's really starting to slow down. And it's weird. Someone said this in the morning when Prad put up a chart of Tesla, but I'm getting like one stuck ECN. So I'm watching it over them like it's literally not moving. The bid hasn't moved, and then I'm like, how did I just get filled in front of 92 if it's at 93? And it's because there's one gateway on Tesla, which is constantly giving a stuck quote, which does throw off orders from time to time. So I do have to watch out for that. But as AVYA goes up here, I'm going to go ahead and cancel these 114s. I'll be happy enough to just take 110s here. Just going to take it out. The stock has barely moved, and every time it's gotten back to 110, that's all it's been able to give you. So why not just get out of it, move on to something else? And it's the same thing with Intel. Like, I didn't even get, at no point, I've never thought of Intel. Why would I type New York? Intel, it's putting good short, but all you've been seeing here is holding these lows. So time to get on that bid. It just broke 34, so maybe I'll hang on to a little bit of it. But right now, all I'm seeing is hold 34, which is exactly what happened at the open. It held this 34 level. So I'm going to take some out just in case it doesn't flush. But if it does, I want to hang on to that last little piece and put a trailing stop on when the imbalances come out, because Intel, 90% of the time, Intel has some kind of imbalance that pairs off, but it can cause it to move a little bit. Just on the off chance it does that, I want to make sure I'm getting some out in front of that. Now Tesla's starting to go to that downside.
Yeah.
We have this crazy wick that just showed up out of nowhere, but I'm looking for 885, somewhere in VWAP here, if the market rolls over on Tesla. I don't have it up at 900 because, quite frankly, it never went to 900. According to Randy, it's a guarantee that we will see Tesla at 900. He said by the end of the day. I'll give him a mulligan because he might not know that the split's in effect after market tomorrow. But I kind of feel like we do get to 900 tomorrow. Just doesn't seem like it wants to get there today just yet. Market rolling over. Tesla now starting to momentum downside. But BABA's not. So, you know what? BABA's going sideways. Oh, never mind. I just got hit in the bid on Alibaba. I was just about to say BABA going sideways. I got the refill at 60s. Now it's trying to break that 50 level. I'm going to try and get these quarters for the last of Alibaba. At this point, you can't think it's gonna fall like an absolute rock. If it was going to, it would have happened. I think you got to respect the fact that the market doesn't want to break out of its range at all. And this is what I mean by when I say the market, I'm usually looking at the NASDAQ. This is what, 60 points? 60 points. That's your range you've had pretty much for the entire afternoon. So to think we're going to extend past that is asking a heck of a lot. Hence why you pay yourself on the scalp trade when you get a reentry like that. That's why Sean's doing it. That's why any trader here would be making that same type of a notion, thinking that it's not going to come all the way down to 88.5. Those types of trades could have happened this morning. If anything, Baba was gearing up to break out at 90, which I have to respect. I might see that $90 level tomorrow. And if I do, and it looks like this, then Baba's a breakout. But for now, I'm just going to be scalping into 89 even.
I mean, I really like Alibaba for sure. Look at Oxy falling down now. We only have, Brendan, by the way, it's funny because you were talking there and I was like, oh man, it's only 38 million to sell. And then we had a correction from Brendan, 738 million to sell. So
it's a small difference.
Yeah, I feel
Petetra.
little small difference there.
Only word I know
but that's all good, man. I mean, you could see the market pulling down. I don't think, honestly, even though it's 700 million, that's not, like, it's not a big number, but it still could be something, obviously, market moving. So let's just wait to see if it does give that action. Remember what we said, the only long that we had today pretty much, I think anyways, was AMD there into the long. Yeah, Docky was a short, Zoom was a short, Oxy, we are short, AMC, yeah. So it was AMD, and we actually just got out of that, and AMD's a profitable name for us today, so good on that. But there it is, that dropped all the way to 93.05. This is a good buy spot here for AMD. There's no doubt about that. 93 keeps on holding. It's just, I don't want to play the long rhetoric right now. We're below the 50 period, and I really think that this NASDAQ, should dance a little bit lower here. So we'll see into the close if that is the case. Great. Could be wrong. We've been wrong many times before. So there it is. But I still do like that. Let's just see where it goes. All right. So AMC, quick note. It actually stopped on a dime at 950. I didn't even get filled there. And I was using like inverted gateways. And what I mean by that are where I pay to get the fill. So normally the way I like to trade is that I'll bid 54, but I'll use like up to 57. Wow. So that was very aggressive. The buyers for sure at 50. But what I was going to get at about the gateways there, if you sit here on ARCA or pretty much any of the ones you see right now, even the New York Stock Exchange, BATS, MEMX, anything you see here, and it hits you, you're going to get a rebate of roughly $2 per 1,000 shares. And that should be true of any prop firm or whatever, which is why part of the reason why I sometimes pay for order flow. But you can also use gateways like BAT-Y and Edge A and BAT-Y and a few other ones there as well, including some NYSE routes and stuff like that, where you pay to get the fill. So what that means is the orders will route to you first because you're paying for that fill, but you'll get out first. So the idea that I'm getting at, long-winded, is I was on one of those willing to pay to get that fill, and you just pay the $2 per 1,000. Right? So remember, 1 penny on 1,000 shares is $10. So it's not the end of the world to pay back $2, but still, those are the ones you tend to get hit on first if you're playing this add, remove liquidity game, which I was trying to do there on AMC to get that quick 50 fill, but again, missed it. So I'm going to hopefully it comes back to 50 and we'll try it one more time.
Oh, I love two things here.
Look at Oxy, by the way.
I love your name, Pokeroo. I can't believe that's... I grew up on.
I have a Pokeroo thing.
On that. You've got a Pokeroo thing there.
Yo, Lucas, find the Pokeroo.
We have a Pokeroo graphic.
That was one of the ones that we made. Like I made one of our old guys make that Pokeroo one.
We love it, and thank you. Like the thing about these dollar trades off AVYA, it's also VWAP as well, and it's support level. It's not just. I don't want to make it seem like you just buy any stock when it's at $1, but you can see it trending, and you can see it bouncing off $1 as well. So there is a bit more to it. And thank you, Chris Mills. Remember, 25 months. I don't comment much, but I've been watching and learning for almost 2.5 years. You are still the best. Thanks for all you do. That's coming back from the beginning, because by my math, you've been watching us since we came on YouTube. Which is super cool, man. We love the journey that we've had with a lot of people there, and I'm gonna date myself here. But I actually remember, I know you're not Chris Mills, who was a shooting guard for the Knicks way back in the day, but that's a name that I do. Or a small forward, I think he maybe was. He'd hit threes and like a 3-and-D type guy, although his D was probably suspect. But yeah, thank you very much for that. That's what it's all about, like Sean said. It's about education. And I said, of course, as I get out of AVYA, it continues to go higher. But you know, it wasn't really doing much at the time that decision got made. The volume was tapering off, and sometimes that happens to you. It gets late in the day. It finds that resistance level, you're like, just take the profit, and then, of course, it just continues higher. And the time you don't do that is a day that it falls like an absolute rock, and then you end up getting stopped out there. Alibaba, it did hit that one bid, now coming back up there. I am not going to reload BABA. In fact, I look over, and I have my stop order, and I can manually get out of this. This is a NASDAQ breaking lower. Like Tesla's now below 890. That's working to the downside. This is us breaking the low, testing, going red on the day on the NASDAQ. And the ES, I look over, it's negative on the session. What is Alibaba doing? It is very slowly and methodically grinding back up to this high. Like, there is no need to reload this position. Like, give me a break, right? Like, we're finally falling, and this wants to go toward the high of the day. Nah, I'm going to tighten the stop up right here to that 89.70 area and just say, I'm willing to lose 10 cents on this and no more, because clearly the trend is to the upside. You can make money on a trending stock to the upside if it keeps running into resistance and falling, but at some point, eventually it just breaks if that trend continues, and you got to be willing to get out, right? So I'm just going to get out here at 89.70.
All right, wicked. All right, yeah, look, it's 3:38. We're getting ready to rock and roll. If there's any names you guys want us to look at, you just talked about Neptune there. Amazon 130 puts. Okay, we'll look at that, James. I'm assuming you mean Amazon AMZN there. You just wrote in AMZ, but 133 put, 130 puts maybe printing. We'll see here. Yeah, I mean, Amazon, a nice move down. I was actually looking at this for going long today. We actually went long. This is another positive name for me today, as we hit Amazon long at 133.50, got out at 134, and then lost our last bit once it broke back down through 50. But so far, so good on a lot of these names. Always so far, so good with Brenda. What you got, homie?
This Getty images just popping up, guys, on a volume spike here back to 28. There's a note circulating on the interwebs talking about 62% short still on Getty. Teeny tiny float on this one as well.
That one was a SPAC, not an IPO, I think. Okay, you know what? I was just saying that's a SPAC, watch out for that. But I could be wrong. Maybe it was a traditional IPO. I thought it was a SPAC. But if it's that heavily shorted, then we have to start thinking about it as a possible squeeze play. I'm just adjusting a bid here and looking for a trail as we get closer to 350. You're looking for a trail on Tesla here at about 890. Just got out of Alibaba. That took out that 89.70 level. I'll hold on to Intel and Tesla going into this close. But yeah, I'd be very cautious with that Getty. Like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like those SPAC names can go crazy. I thought it was G. Yeah, it's on the New York. That's what it is. If it's 4 letters, my instinct is to always type in NASDAQ. So if you wonder why I mess that up a lot, there is only so much you can do over like 10 to 15 years of muscle memory, because I feel like it was like 5 or 10 years ago when all of a sudden it wasn't that rule where everything on the NYSE was 3 letters and they could have 4-letter symbols. It wasn't. Maybe 10 years ago at most, but I had too much muscle memory of just assuming it's going to be there. Yeah, so Getty getting up a little bit closer. And this feels like Sava to me. I'm not going to trade 20 minutes left. I'm not paying for any shorts, but you look at 30, you look at 31, you look at what the stock has been doing the last couple of weeks. That just tells me there's going to be some bag holding level. Like 30 is a pretty big level. If it got there, I'd be looking short. It's too late in the day to put that kind of a trade on because A, it has to run $1.50 from here, and then B, you run out of time to actually make some money for it to make a move for you.
All right, we're trying to make some moves here. I don't want to say money moves. I don't want to get Neil going here.
I got
there it is. So we are long right now on AMD 9304. I said we liked that 93 level. So once the market started going back up, I am very cautious of that number that Brendan just gave us, 700 million again to sell. So that's not getting any better. So not great here for that. But we're going to try to give it to that bottom again of, this is just one last shot. If the market goes up, and we could have taken We could have taken 7 cents, but we're going to give it back down to the bottom here. So if we're going to go 1-to-1, we're long at 93.04. If we get out on a 90 break, that's about 14 cents. So here we go. First take there out at 11s, which gives us halfway to that level. And then now we'll wait to see if we can get the 50 period on what was a reload for me here on our friend AMD. The only name that we've been long today is Advanced Micro. So I don't know if this is going to go, man. I mean, I am a little bit nervous into this imbalance, but I really think that, you know, we should be able to be okay on this. There we go. Take another fill at 10 there, or 9, whatever that was. So just trying to scalp out a little bit here, as we said. And all we're really trying to do is kind of just stack up a little bit right now. So we'll do like this and hopefully not have the money come out of the wheelbarrow, and hopefully it stays in there, because right now it's looking like it's all good. You know, nice move up. We'll see if it can hold that 93. And by the way, remember when I went on that little thing about fees? Well, look where AMC is. It hit 950, man, and ran away. Oh, I did get a fill down there. So remember, I put it back. I went back and I went back and there's the fill for 950. So we actually get that fill down there at 950, which was, it hit it once. Then I started talking about it. It came back and filled me. So I don't have many shares left on this one. So good out right there on AMC. That was lucky. I didn't even think I got that fill. Like, I was looking back at it like, huh? So there we go, a nice little fill there on AMC for us. And by the way, Oxy went all the way down to 65, and we took advantage of that. So there's another fill out there for us on Oxy. So I'm wondering if AMC, I see you guys in the chat saying AMC up. Yeah, I mean, that is starting to go up. We are going to get those imbalances in 6 minutes now. So, if you guys are watching at home, because some people say that there's like a drastic delay, so I would just refresh it, but it's 344.07, 08, 9, so 344.10 right now here, Eastern Standard Time in lovely Toronto, Ontario.
Is it lovely,
Canada? It is lovely. Of course it's lovely. Yes, it is.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I'm going to hit this one because I never hit it. And then I forget that we have that when I make a Tesla trade. But I did put a trailing stop, and the market might fall from here, but I'll show you why. Like, on that move up, when we broke 890, you had this one pullback. Ignore these dark pool wicks. You had this one pullback. I drew the line in for you at 889.50. So it would break 890, get to the 50 mark, and then fail it. And then it puts this little wick off bottom here through that 890. It's late in the day, so at this point, I'm always putting trailing stops going into 850. It puts the wick off bottom through that resistance level. It does stop me out. Now it looks like it wants to go. I don't want to be rejoining the short this tight to 350 at a level like this, which is literally diddling in the middle. But ultimately, Tesla ended up being a winning trade. It didn't give us 900, which it feels like we're still going to get tomorrow going into that split. But it did give you a short off that consolidation. And the key thing was, it felt like Tesla was so super strong all day, and then every break of 895, fail, lower high, fail, lower high, fail, lower high. At some point, you're just shorting it off that 95 level, because that's the only trade available to you. So that ended up working out. I'm going to hold on to Intel with a trailing stop just because it's now broken 34. And got down to 90s, came back, failed at 34 again. So I'll just adjust my trailing stop as a method here. Ooh, I had an Indo stop. I don't need that one coming in. That's the stop. I don't need Indo filling in the aftermarket. So that's one stop I'm glad I managed to cancel there. Don't need that in there. I'm going to tighten my stop to 34 even on Intel and just hold potentially for the low of the day. And then coming in tomorrow, and if we're below 34.40, I'm shorting Intel below 34.40 and pretty much every single day until it breaks that price.
All right. Just as an update there. Okay, so AMD, just as an update, we just took out 90, but we got out some 95s. Like, when that market started to crash in, so again, out some there at 10, and then out some at 95, and then the last 30% out, or 20%, whatever it was, probably 25% out there at 90. That was our out. Obviously, the market is coming in on that sell side imbalance. You can see the NASDAQ finally, like as if now it finally starts to go. A nice downside move. I mean, the only short that we have is Ox. Well, we have AMC short as well, but that's, rifling back to that 90 level. Here we go. What's given up the ghost, man? Looks like it's Apple. See ya. Apple to the downside right there, almost as if there was news. But look at this. Apple downside. And by the way, we were up on Apple today. We talked about sort of our record here today. But look at these, all shorts. And of course, now we want to give it up. So there goes Apple. Beautiful move to the downside once it broke some of those levels, 167.50, and it was see you later. Yesterday we were short at this time 168. Looks like it wants to give it up again. Really surprised the Nasdaq's only down 0.1 today. It feels heavier than that. So we'll see what it wants to do tomorrow with only 3 minutes until the imbalances. We're going to finish.
I have to get to a question. Someone asked.
Yeah, go ahead.
Someone just asked, why is DNAA halted? DNAA was a SPAC, and the conversion happened, I want to say was it as of today? Why is this not flipping over? So there we go. AKLI is the new symbol. Yeah, it was yesterday, it looks like. Yeah, okay, so it looks like it was yesterday. But AKLI, that's the one you're looking for. So it opened up yesterday. It looks like it's, ooh. And in typical SPAC fashion, it didn't have a very good day after the conversion. Looks like it fell like a bloody rock. But that's all it was. So DNAA turned into AKLI. That's something you want to watch. Still on the NASDAQ. You can always just sort of pop those ones in. When you know it's a SPAC, a lot of times if it disappears, that just simply means they've closed that deal. So AKLI is what you're looking for. 2 minutes till those imbalances. I only have Intel with a trailing stop. We'll hang on to that one going into the close. And of course, that out in Tesla is not going to age well as it got down toward that 886 after all, heading down into VWAP. 900 is going to have to wait till tomorrow.
What does win is our out on AMD. I mean, good thing we got out of that one. Down to 92.75 as that keeps on bleeding. Bye-bye, AMC. So it looks like we will, end of the day, at our highest spot right now because AMC is just breaking through 950. Let's see. The imbalance is coming out in a minute and a half. So it just touched 47 there on the break. So we still have a little bit of shares on this, and we still have some shares on Oxy as well. So back-to-back jacks to end the show here. 35 cents on AMC, which is nice. It's only a $9 name, $10 name. So that's going to be good. And then Oxy as well. We just took a piece out there at 85, but look at it dripping down. We'll see if we can get a 73.50 or something like that on Oxy. I mean, who knows? I'm actually just going to put a bid there, man. Like, let's just put a bid at 73.52, okay? See if it can come back in and fill that little level up right there. So, I mean, it would be at the very bottom. That would look really nice. Like Prad said, we'll paint this chart for Twitter coming all the way back down. We don't need to do, I mean, you could just, all these trades that we've had today have been pretty good. The only one we're red on is Meta, and we had a $3 winner. It's just we got carried away early and got stopped out. I mean, look where Meta is. These are all shorts. Look where Meta is now, and we somehow are negative on the name. Why? Because of this stupid average in the morning where we took this all the way to the upside against 164. Once it broke, that was it. But then we're like, okay, let's see if you want to do it again at 165. Those of you that were trading with me early saw that. Okay, here we go. The imbalance coming out right now. We're going to just remove ARCA from this and see what happens when this comes out. So it's out in 2 and 1. And now we'll see where it goes. PayPal with a big sell there. APE with a big sell, 6.15 million shares as a sell side there on APE. So watch out for this name coming in here. APE starting to print to the downside. You can see, here we go, 15, 16. So a move down on APE. PayPal, this looks like a big one. If you add up all these sells, pretty sure there's going to be a big sell side number, maybe in the billions. There it is. Yes, Brandon, right on.
What is it?
2.7 to billion, sorry. 2.7 billion to sell. So PayPal making a move down right there, 93.10. Nice move on those guys. Nothing that I'm trading, but there's Square and PayPal both side. Morgan Stanley, we haven't looked at a bank in forever on the show, but there's Morgan Stanley. Yeah, exactly. Morgan Stanley to the downside, PayPal, and then Halliburton, of course, the big oil refiner making a move downside, I guess, $31 on Halliburton.
You know, we never, for all the energy moves, I don't think we ever look at Halliburton, now that I think about it. But Intel, look, everything came to the sell side, 2.7 billion, right?
I buy
so
Oxy.
Intel headed to the downside. I'm going to get on the bid in front of the low of the day. Intel always pairs off. So it's not like that imbalance is going to stay and it'll break the low of the day. That pretty much never happens on Intel. But once again, APE was 21 million shares to sell yesterday. It's 6 today, so it's a little bit smaller. I think it ended up at about 2 or 3 at the end of the day. But once again, I did try to just grab, the second you said APE was there, I tried to short it at 25s, and it's now trying to bounce off VWAP. But if it does play off that high, if I can try to show you guys in yesterday's trade, like it got up to this resistance level right at the close was about 680, and then you can see it just flush, ending up printing at about 606 or something. So something very similar happening here in APE. And I might not wait around for a pop back up here. They did go pretty much straight to the downside. I might look for I'm looking for 720s in here. If we can get that, if I can get that to the short side, I'll try to take this into the low of the day on APE.
Wow, AMC and AMD really making moves down, as is Apple. I mean, this is what we were waiting for all day, and unfortunately, it's coming right at the close, which is all good. Why Oxy just went down into the 60s, so we were waiting at 50. It went to 62. We were waiting at 52. Let's see if we could still get that. But let's go back over to the imbalances to have a quick look here. So there's your APE shares. What was it? That was about 720 when it came out. Now you're down to 716 on that one, so that's going to be pretty good. PayPal as well, Intel, a lot of these names starting to make some moves back down in here. So there it is. There goes APE, now starting to come in. It's not really affecting AMC. AMC still at 950 and moving down. We have 31 cents in the money on AMC. You can see all of our positions at the bottom. Hit the like button, please, by the way. Do we even have 1,000 yet? We have over 5,000 watching and 872 likes. I thought we've done a good job today, so hit the like button, please, and thank you for that. I might just get out of AMC. I mean, it's 353. I don't see them on here. All I see is these APE shares, but they will pair off, which could send AMC to the upside right now. So that's what we're doing right here. Not much else, man. I mean, Morgan Stanley, Cisco, Ford's been really weak the last couple of days, so we can definitely watch out for that. Ford's not down 8%. Yeah, Ford's up today actually, the S&P is down, so it's actually kind of strange to see Ford up. But look at this bar coding. This is what we call that when it's not moving. So right now, Ford, obviously, you're not going to be able to find a trade in that. And then PayPal with a nice move there on the imbalance. The imbalances came out. PayPal was 93.30. Now you're down to 93.10. Trying to test those bottoms. I remember when this name was just at $100 not that long ago. So PayPal, I like it. And then I don't know what this Rattler is. I feel like that's something that we've had on the show before. RTLR coming in.
Oh, no, it's not even the same. No,
and I know you were trading Intel earlier. That's as a sell back.
Yeah, I just got out of Intel.
Okay, back to $34.
Bounced off 90. Oh, I got to show you guys, Ali. Like, this is the market coming to the downside. Look at what Alibaba, it just went green on the day. Like, sometimes you just have to accept that it's going to break that level. The trend is fine. It's giving you all kinds of opportunities off 89.60 to get shorts, but it's higher lows each time and then eventually breaking out. So you can't stick with it forever. At some point, it's going to break that level. Higher lows, that trend is going to continue. So a resistance or support level is only good till it breaks. And when it breaks, you have to be able to do that thing where you accept that it's no longer going to be valid. So I'm just going to be trading APE. There's about 355. At 355, a lot of times there's a big update on the imbalances. So I could expect APE to pair off when it gets there. I tried getting more shares. I wanted 725s. It did not make any move into 725, unfortunately. So I don't want to be chasing this one because I do expect a smaller balance than yesterday. I think it's going to pair off there, and a good chance it could in a couple seconds.
Yeah, here it comes, 355. We can go over to APE. I mean, we can check out what's going on with AMC right now. $9.55 right here. I just am playing a video. I got to mute that site right now. 9.55. So, okay, let's wait to see. Let's go back over to the imbalances, have a quick look. Yeah, APE did not pair off. Wow. So we brought this name to you here, APE. When it was 720, remember, on that imbalance locator. If I trusted the system a little bit more, I would have been short here, but I guess I'd have to pay for the shorts. But 708, there it is, a nice move down, man. We gave this to you when the imbalances came out at 720, a nice downside move for APE. Everything else has paired off. I don't see PayPal on here anymore. Let's see what it did on the pair off, though, for PayPal. It moved back up to 93 a little bit, but there's 93 bottom, 93.20. Maybe everyone's eyes are just on APE. So we'll watch it here, see what it wants to do. Back up. I think as it pairs off, you're going to want to get out. Let's just get out of our AMC. I mean, we're right down here at 952. If we can get that fill, we'll do that. There it is. Nice close for our day on that as we'll fire it off. Back down to 950 now goes AMC. Good out for that. Doesn't look like Oxy's going to give it to us, but we have earnings tomorrow, so let's go see with Brendo.
Yeah, a few more to come, guys, in this earnings season. Some in the retail group coming up after the market closes tonight, but here we go. Get you set for tomorrow morning.
It's got to be Nordstrom's today. Today. Tomorrow, after the close, obviously, but 20 to 22% short interest on Nordstrom's. That's the key number. If we thought Macy's, and Macy's was a good long off the open, if we thought that could squeeze on a mediocre report, quite frankly, bad report, then I think Nordstrom's has every chance to. And I'm not trying to sit here saying it's going to be a good report or they're going to beat top and bottom, just that the first thing I will look for is a long off the pre-market lows. Ideally, it'll be down, and then you can get a squeeze to the upside. So I'll be watching Nordstrom's for sure. What else is in there? Urban Outfitters, Toll Brothers maybe. Yeah, it probably.
No, I'm not going to lie.
Probably just Nordstrom's is probably the only one I'm going to be watching. I just like that short interest. It's been a good trade on earnings. Anything with a 10, 20, or plus short percentage has been giving you those long opportunities. APE didn't pair off, but it bounced off VWAP anyways at 358. A lot of times there's another chance for it to update. It's still $4 million to sell on APE, but not looking like it wants to follow the way that it did yesterday.
Yeah, I just punched out of Oxy. It's not going to go down. I mean, we waited for 52. It went to 62, 10 cents off there. So we'll punch out at 88 or whatever that last move was. We didn't have 8, but we got a good fill on AMC at 52. And that's the end of the day, baby. So, yeah, what was a fantastic day here on the show. I hope you guys were all able to hit the like button, and seems like you did. 1.1K. So we definitely want to thank you for all of that. Here's the imbalance locator. I'll just keep it up here as we'll go. We can watch out for APE 710. 712. I know this is a very popular name for a lot of you. ARC today down to $43. That's another name. Nike 110. Just going over, looking at my board here. Looks like AMD and NVIDIA will both wind up on the day. Tesla's going to close at 890, so that's going to be good as well for Tesla, as there's one more day where that name trades pre-split, so that's going to be exciting. Fisker Ocean, I mean, that didn't do anything on that news. That's at 850 only. Other than that, man, I mean, oil continues to be really great. 3.6% upside, $93 as that session's closed. But yeah, good day overall. We'll wait for the update on Brendan after the show to see what these indexes exactly did. He'll be talking about oil as well, and then a couple different, Brazil, so on and so forth. But what's popping up there?
No, BABA just finally, now BABA falls after it fails a 90 break. So if we come to my chart, we say, it's only a minute left to go, but BABA just came back in off a 90. Looks like, I mean, APE's not really wanting to fall here. So I don't know. Yesterday it was a much larger imbalance yesterday. So it may just have no juice to it. It did pair off most. It's down to 2 million now. That 5 million share imbalance. But all I was trying to get is that BABA was a bit of a fake out there on the 90 break. Tony did a fantastic job on the morning show, kind of recovering, feeling a heck of a lot better, and as did Sharif. But Tony's right back here, going to give you that bell ring on what was another exciting day. The market's not going to end up green, but there were plenty of opportunities to go short. Even the strongest name in the market, or one of the strongest names in the market, Tesla, gave us an opportunity off those highs. You know that's going to be in play tomorrow ahead of that split. If you're not watching that, then I don't know what you're watching. If you're not watching us, then you're not watching the markets.
That's
Tony,
right. That's right.
I want to see those dance moves. Where are they? 5, 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 2 and 1, ring it.
There you go.
You just broke it down right there.
He was like dance moves, ask no more. There's the big print right there. Was that was 8 million right there? There it is right there.
Yeah,
O2s. Is that 8 million? Yeah, 8 million. So 8 million come off at O2. We brought you the trade at 720. So a nice little 18-cent move to the downside on those APE imbalance shares. So that's that right there. That closes it out for the APEs and for AMC and for the market. And on that note, we'll go over to Brendan and see if these markets were able to get to Greensville, or at least stay in Greensville.
They did not. If you look at this board, it's going to be red numbers. However, if you look at a chart, I mean, flat as flat can be today. Here we go, all three U.S. markets, 0.25%, 0.4 there for the Dow leading, but the NASDAQ tried so close to staying in positive territory there. Is it a pause on the way down or a bounce, guys, maybe to come tomorrow for the overall market after the past couple of days? Huge day for crude there, 3.5%, 1.8 for Bitcoin, 4.5 for Ethereum, coming off a 7% move downside yesterday.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because the big gun moves have to happen for the rest of the week, right? You get NVIDIA earnings after the bell, then you get the Tesla split, and then we're going to see Jackson Hole. If you think it's been exciting to start this week, forget about how we end off this week, because you know what the chips. the chips have not been the strongest out there, and NVIDIA already guided poorly on a revision. So, you know that's going to be a bit of a mover, and it moves the entire sector when it goes. So NVIDIA, Tesla, then Jackson Hole. This week is only getting started.
All right, yeah, I think it's going to be super exciting. I think the market is going to flush a little bit here this week, but the thing about it is, man, Jay Powell always comes and saves the day, it seems like. So he'll probably say something positive, I would think, at Jackson Hole, which I think is Thursday, Friday, but I think Powell's speaking Friday, so that should be an exciting one for sure. And yeah, that basically wraps it up, man. I mean, what a great day it's been. The trade of the day was Oxy. We did really well on Oxy too after that. So, oil's going to remain on all of our minds. But again, for all the help today, thanks to Lucas, Fahad, obviously Sharif is not here right now. Thanks to Trader Pratt and Tony. You saw him dance it off. Thanks Neil, Brendan, everybody that's helping, Liz, Katrine. Brankles was not here, so thanks to Greg, and thanks to Brankles, who I think remoted in.
He remoted in
to help out
sure,
this morning.
Yeah.
So thanks to Brankles for that one, as he helps out.
Man. He wasn't
exactly. Big time helping out there with the watch list. So hey, look. We're exhausted, and it's only Tuesday. So I think it's going to be a lot of trading tomorrow. I had over close to 300 fills today, so a lot of trades, positive, great, back-to-back positive days to start the week for me, and I just think that more to come. I think our bigger trades could easily happen at the end of this week. Tomorrow might be a little calmed down. I love looking at Tesla like Neil was today. That 900 is going to be awesome. Lots of characteristics happening into that split, so that should be really good. But hey, I don't know if we're going to the 3-pip or not there, but
just quickly, anyone looking at NVIDIA, these are just bad D prints. Like NVIDIA is not going crazy in the aftermarket. These are all just dark pool prints going off on NVIDIA.
Yeah, and NVIDIA is earnings tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Someone just said it's moving crazy, but it's not.
All right, for all of us here, D prints go off like crazy. For all of us here at, I almost said Day Trade the World, but at Trader TV Live, our number one sponsor, Day Trade the World. Make sure you check them out. But for all of us here at Day Trade the World, that's Brendan, that's Neil, I'm whoever, and we will see you guys tomorrow. And girls, see ya, ciao.